The following may include subject matters of war, violence, loss, and adult themes which may not be appropriate for all audiences. Viewer discretion advised. Previously on Darkeport. Episode 28. Furious at having been psychically bound by Weisa, Capio reaches to grab her. Weisa responds with a strike from her staff meant to break his legs. A brief melee betwixt the Fellowship and the Death Team erupts, wherein Capio repeatedly rages at the lack of honor the defenders of Juramentum display. Merrick bear hugs Capio, beginning to crush his ribs in. Despite Lord Titus ordering Merrick to stand down twice, the intransigent Kithki ignores his rightful commander, demanding repeatedly that Capio ask nicely to be released. The situation devolves into Titus having to pry Merrick off of Capio with his own hands, which he successfully does. Merrick declares that his own personal dignitas was at risk. The Fellowship eventually make their way to the small temple that Lord Lepidus Zosh and his people used to use and likely constructed. There, Weisa, Marcus, and especially Nilishly investigate the still sacred space for clues as to the name of the guardian of the cathedral, as well as other past history. Nilishly manages to catch a glimpse of Lord Zosh praying in the very spot, not directly to the Lord of Light, but rather to Jason Tenderheart as an intermediary. Weisa at last recalls that the scroll which her mentor, Publia, left to lead her to the island contains vital information. Indeed, upon rereading it, the Storm Warden's name is clearly written: Tessaryn. Would prior knowledge of his name change the Guardian's disposition? Impossible to know now. As night descends, the party makes the faithful decision to sleep deeply, thus guaranteeing that young Jason still in Barolos' camp will enact his desperate plan to delay the crazed chosen patrician and all of his men no later than dawn. During the night, a sulking Merrick sleeps away from his companions, and thus the spiritual protection of the temple. As a result, shadowy, moisture-stealing darklings assault whilst he slumbers. Two attach to his head, and he runs back into the temple, dislodging one. Nilishly invokes her ray of desiccation and pain, freeing him from the second, whilst Capio destroys a third that had also flown at Merrick. In the pre-dawn gloom, the Fellowship make their way to a lost village, the site of terrible deeds in the past. As they arrive, they catch sight of a being both horrifying and magnificent at once: a green dragon.
Faraway friends, you have found yourself at Darkeport once more. We're so happy to see you.
Yay!
Hope your journeys in the interim period from the last time were good to you, or at least in, as I say, interesting or mildly entertaining. All right, I think we have some sponsors, yes, who are still with us.
We are continually blessed by Eldritch Foundry, and Cantrip Candles.
Say they're lighting the way.
Donnie, man.
Yeah, we were kind of cutting up in here earlier. So.
I got it blown out.
Molding and lighting the way. Come on, you gotta add the word molding. I can't even keep up anymore.
That's fair. I mean, it's just a mini kind of diversion. All right.
We encourage you to please check out the video description where there are some affiliate links so you can check out these amazing products. Eldritch Foundry has created many of the miniatures that we have used in our battles thus far. It is an incredibly fun tool to cover any kind of TTRPG setting that you could be interested in. And of course, our favorite, Cantrip Candles. A wonderful way to add a little extra something to your session, whether that's the fairy glade or a lovely bakery. They have a scent for any occasion. And so please do check out those links in the video description. And thank you to Cantrip Candles and Eldritch Foundry.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I had a beautiful exchange with Cantrip Candles leader, Christoph, and he is going to, whom at least two of y'all, Corey and Toby, have met before, and he is going to put a little description of the upcoming episodes for us.
Ooh, and some social media
So
blurbs.
that's really cool. I really appreciate that. Like completely of his own volition, and that really was really touched by that. It was incredibly sweet. So one quick thing, I'm going to be doing a kind of a blitz before on the run up to Gen Con. There are 12 videos that I'm going to try to make as part of a ongoing series. I'm not going to finish it with 12, but the initial tranche is going to be 12. And they're going to be how to portray X. So how to portray an ignorant demagogue, how to portray a femme vulgaire, how to portray unrequited love. So those are all going to be things that I'm going to be putting up, and I'm going to try my best to get them all up before Gen Con. I kind of set that as a challenge for myself. So we'll see if I can pull it off or not.
Chaos Crew?
Well, always, yes. So we have our sister stream, Constructed Chaos, and they are going to be doing something really exciting tomorrow night. So they stream same time as we do on Wednesdays, and their longtime player Brett is going to be jamming a new campaign. I think it's this because they cycle through multiple campaigns at a time, and I think because I'm guessing at this, but because the Pokemon campaign is nearly done, I know that Alex likes to have like a good lineup. So it's really nice. His jamming style is a hoot. I've watched his one shot. I forget what his rock star version of Count Dracula was, but anyway, it was very silly and it was a lot of fun. He's a great jam too. So I'm looking forward to see that. So shout out to you, Brett. Exciting.
Awesome.
All right, and I believe we are ready for a little candle, huh? A little candle lighting.
I guess it's time.
Okay, I think it's time.
It's time for the candle tale.
Here we go.
I'm tired.
Yeah, you're exhausted. You're
going right up
I'm
the
only
scale.
2 points.
You're just more in character now.
Better.
All right, and I believe today we have a Mr. Marcus sounding off, right?
Indeed. I knew that this island was going to test us in ways we never expected. I knew there was going to be a great revealing of truths during this time here. I knew some of us might die, and in the process give opportunity to those who remain to rise to the occasion. I knew all of this, and at the end of the day, what I knew amounted to a great pile of oppo crap. The test I thought we were going to have was little more than a string game we used to entertain the little ones in Pulux. The truths I expected to hear were fantasies built up in the worshipful minds of children and told, then retold, until those fantasies became fact. Ain't no one died yet, but it's still early, so who knows. Often, I've said that Thorn laves the past and we simply have to follow it. Well, it's time to put some skin in the game and practice what I preach. I didn't want to blindly follow, but likewise, there is more to this test of faith than a few brief words spoken resentfully to yet another group of would-be grave robbers. I do not envy Tessaryn the burden that she has borne these last 2 centuries. Make it to the end, protect your companions and bring them home. Come back to Alba and hold it close. Those are my goals now. Don't give me strength to see this through to the end.
Ooh.
Damn, Randy. I think that's the best one you've written.
Yeah, I like that one.
That's really good, and you need it right now. A little bit, you know what? I should have done this before, but it's all impacts and characters, so it's good. Ellie, have you ever heard the phrase "giving someone their flowers"? It's like giving them accolades.
Yes and no.
So it's very old. It's kind of like gilding the lily, but I blame my dad. So a couple flowers for you, my darling. One, I was truly touched how you articulated your prayer for Jason. It's very difficult to convey like a blessing for a death goddess, essentially, and you know the Night Mother, and you actually managed to do it without being maudlin or cheesy at all. It was like exactly fit the moment. So I'm going to give you inspiration for that. Yay! That was like toward the end of the last session when you did that, and you know where you said to please let him be out of your grasp for many years to come. Like I was like, yes, that's exactly what you tell a death goddess,
Hell yeah.
or what you ask of her.
Let him come home later.
And so. Second one is that you, my darling, won MVP. First.
Yes.
Well earned.
Thank you. I am thrilled. What a day.
I need to mark that down.
Cheers.
You can use that.
So what is that again? That's another inspiration, or?
It's kind of like inspiration, but you can use that to add 1 die 8 to basically any roll that you would use a die 20 with. So if you want to,
Plus 1 die 8.
yeah, plus 1 to 8. If you want to add that, you have to spend it before. So like if you're attacking somebody, you'd have to say, I'm going to use my morale point for that.
So I have to say it before I roll.
You have to say it before you roll. Yep. And essentially, you in universe or in game, it's you drawing on the growing sense of esprit de corps amongst the fellowship. So.
We don't know what that means.
We still don't know what that means.
I don't know her. Spirit. The joint fighting spirit that exists amongst a band during wartime, which I have personally experienced. It is a thing, and it allows you to do things as a collective that you could not do as an individual. It's like almost a physical force on a field of battle. You can, in tight groups, you can feel in your body. All right. So we were eyeballs to snout with your best friend, your new best friend.
Oh, he's pretty far away. You didn't even notice us yet, right?
Of course.
He was looking.
So in that moment, in that pregnant moment before contact is mutual contact is made, what's the leader of the group doing? Because you're going to be the most conspicuous and they're going to follow you. So what are you doing in that moment, Titus? As you see this thing rooting around in the remains in the husk of a village.
It's been a pleasure to know all of you. Is there anything we should know, or anyone have any familiarity with that?
No, but I'm going to do my normal thing. Dominic?
Be safe.
Okay. So
I will hit towards like one of the huts. You know what I'm doing?
Yeah, stand back.
Yes.
Takes off.
Okay, that motion is
Finally.
that motion is enough because you didn't immediately hide or try to hide. So it has a very high passive perception. So the head whips around, and it's airborne, flying rapidly towards your location.
No, gonna fucking.
Okay, so you're running toward the village.
Where are we at? Can you understand where we're in context to this whole thing?
You're about 120 feet away from the village center, And like I said, it's about the size of Pullix, but it is, but it's denser. So about 200 people, just to remind y'all, about 200 people lived here as opposed to 100. You're about 120 off from the southernmost tip of it.
And we're in a dense forest.
You are coming out of the forest now. Mm-hmm.
I will. How far to like the forest trees are we?
I mean, you're right at the edge.
Then I will go in and head to the left.
Okay, so west.
Yes, west.
We'll keep it that way because you're traveling north. Okay. So you head west, and what do you do?
I hit a tree and I hide and observe.
Okay.
Like maybe 50 feet away.
There's no way in hell you can
Alright,
get that far.
then 20 feet?
This is difficult terrain, so you can make it about 10 feet away from them.
As a reaction,
15
of
if
seeing
I'm
that fly out.
because you have 25 halved.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
No,
So you
no,
have
no,
20. So you have 25 halved.
Even though I trained a little bit with
It's not.
and have forest as my specialty.
Not enough. Nope.
Okay.
This one.
How far did Merrick make
Hold on.
it?
Let me get
I'm
Merrick.
Okay.
Okay. What are you doing?
I will go 10 feet away and conceal behind a tree as much as I can.
Okay. Make a stealth check.
And finally, a straight roll. That's great.
Oof.
I don't want to do that. That will be a 20.
At disadvantage. Oh no, your exhaustion's gone. Thank God.
God, that's
Okay.
20.
Must be nice.
Hey, at least you're not fighting with disadvantage anymore.
No, that's true. Okay.
Thank
How
God.
good it's gonna do against a dragon.
That's what you do. Nilishly, you're next.
I don't really.
Or, I'm sorry, Weisa, you have the higher wisdom. You're next.
Okay, so 120 feet from this.
Mm-hmm.
And what's around me?
Trees.
Trees?
Thick.
Thick trees?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, are the trees leading towards the village? Like, if I move through the trees, will I get closer or no?
No. So you're at the tree line now, and now there's basically, imagine an open field, open grassland to the
It's like a
village.
glade to the village.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
I am going to stay by the trees, ready my arrow, and crouch down. And perhaps if my fellows want to go towards the glade, I will like have their back ready.
Okay. Are you trying to hide?
I am trying to hide and keep my weapon out.
Okay. Make a stealth roll.
Wow, a crit. I'm on my first rolls are
Nice.
No,
solid.
I mean you roll really well, baby. All right. What's your
It's 25.
25 total? So you're doing better than the stealth meister. Okay. Sorry. Now Nilishly, go ahead.
Can you just help me visualize the picture again? Because I'm kind of like struggling seeing where we are. So we're facing the village and we're on the tree line still.
You're facing the village. You were just breaking the tree line, hence the reason you could see this thing.
Yeah.
And presumably it could see you. There's about 120 feet between you and where it's coming from.
Oh, it's a dragon too.
Which is, if we're facing the village this way, it's over here.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
It's my left.
Like left but mainly in front of you because
Oh,
you were
okay.
headed mainly north.
So it's on the other side essentially of the village.
It was rooting around in the village.
Oh, it was in the village.
Yeah, and a lot of the village is flooded.
Okay.
So it was kind of going through,
Yeah.
but not making nearly as much noise. Like frighteningly quiet for this huge of a creature.
Okay. I'm gonna also hide at this point in the trees. How thick would you say the trees are?
Pretty dense.
You can get lost in them.
Pretty dense. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna hide in the trees, but I'm gonna move 15 feet away from the closest person.
Okay, so if Merrick has gone west,
Yeah.
Wace is hunkered down.
Yeah.
Where
I'll
do you-
go east.
You want to go east? Okay, that makes sense. So Merrick's 10 west. Nilishly, go ahead and make a stealth roll. I appreciate that the Fellowship's immediate reaction is to go stealth mode on this.
15.
15 total?
Yeah.
All right.
Wait. What do I add to it again? Hold on.
Your stealth.
That's right. I didn't do that right.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I was right. 15. Yeah.
It's always fine.
She's not stealthy, huh?
It's not always +5.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. No, that'd be
Great.
That'd be kind of cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll wait on that. I'm mentioning this to you especially, but for both Weisa and Lishli, remember that you have the weird. This round it's fine, but you have the weird mechanic in 5th ed of readying an action. Yeah. So basically, you're ready to do something using your reaction when it's doing something. So is there something that, and since y'all are still relatively new players, I'm going to remind you of this.
Thank you.
So just
Yeah, I'm readying my bow.
You're readying the bow, yeah.
And I'll be readying the action of, which is why I moved over here, Unearthly Presence.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then,
That makes a lot of sense.
yeah, I'm going to try that, and then second would be Ray of Desiccation with
Okay.
my bonus action.
That's a main action, but you can use that. You can use that on reaction. There's a lot of terms here.
Okay.
Yeah. You can use that on reaction.
Cool. Just Unearthly Presence
Okay,
then.
but you're reading Unearthly Presence. Got it. All right.
For wisdom?
Titus, let's see, and something I haven't been doing, but I'm going to start doing now, is your initiative, because you are exhausted, so you're actually going to be going after Marcus.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
You're 5 under.
That one, yeah. That's,
Yeah. I know I've been applying that unevenly, but I need to do that because in 5th ed, when you're at disadvantage, it's -5.
Yeah.
Like to passive perception and stuff. So I'm going to apply that to initiative. All right. So Marcus, you're actually moving before you're exhausted, Lord.
As it rears up and starts flying towards us, I want to see if my animal handling will give me an idea of how aggressive it's being. Is it protecting its area? Is it like just we're interlopers, we're coming in at it?
That is not a bad call. It's right on the edge of animal handling versus insight, but roll animal handling.
nice.
Yeah.
That's really good. 21.
Yeah.
You were seeing, I mean, obviously you've never seen a frickin' dragon before,
Right.
but you're seeing something that is highly territorial
Gotcha.
and is flying at you. It might even, honestly, it might even have spotted you before you spotted it. You're not convinced that it didn't notice you,
Right.
because it reacted so swiftly when you broke that tree line. It might have been, it might think of the village as its territory.
Gotcha.
And anything coming in through the tree line is fair game.
Coming in through the tree line. Okay. I'm not going into the tree line. I'm going to back up maybe 5-10 feet to another tree, get behind it.
Okay, so you're south then.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm going to get down on one knee. I'm going to clutch my holy symbol. Steal our resolve. Give us strength to fight this in case we need to. Protect us from harm. And then I'm going to do a bless spell out to Titus. I don't know where Merrick is.
No, you don't know.
Yeah, so I have 30 feet.
Whoever you can see right now, which I
Yeah.
don't know who you can see right now. She rolled pretty good on
Yeah,
stealth, too.
I probably lost sight of her. Well, no, she should be right there, hunkered down behind the tree in front of us,
Yeah.
right?
You would have lost sight of her, but she didn't move.
Yeah.
All right.
And so you can do that 60 feet for bless.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So you feel that warmth run through you from a god whose name you do not know.
Yeah.
And it hits
Lord of Light.
and it's and it's hitting who? Yourself? Are you hitting yourself or no?
Yeah, I'm trying to decide on that for the moment. I know for sure Titus.
Okay.
For sure Weisa.
What's up?
She's hidden. Well, she's hidden.
What's up?
You're hidden.
That's how you say Weisa? Sorry.
And Capio.
All right, Capio.
Burn him, though? Like, you know.
We'll find out.
You feel yet another unwanted and alien sensation that these people have, where for your character you would interpret as, because you are fiercely independent save for the one loyalty, you've had to be your whole life. You know this character's backstory and what he's done and what he's been through. So you suddenly have a great presence, far larger and horrifically more intelligent than yourself, pervade your every cell, get into your field, wrapping around you, and whether you want it or not, you feel a warmth flowing through you.
It's like Ebenezer Scrooge.
Which your rational mind, yeah, you actually kind of spit a little bit off to the side. What your rational mind does interpret as you can feel a strengthening of your ligaments and tendons, and you somehow feel more capable, even as this unwanted sensation is washing over you and into you.
Nothing I would have experienced before or heard tell of before.
This would have been in the realm of, I'm not going to make you re-roll because you've been rolling really well on kind of the history and arcana checks. This would have fallen in like the real world equivalent of Grimm's fairy tales. So, he spoke some kind words and then it made them happy.
Was it clear to me that it was Marcus?
No, there is a golden, it's not like overpowering or anything, but there is a golden wave that comes off and literally washes over you and touches you.
So there would have been an immediate reaction, like assuming this is violence, assuming this is betrayal, and turning around to like launch an attack at you, but then that would be when it's like, oh, I'm actually feeling the strength of this now. And like,
And you're actually just having a hug. You're like, oh.
And I'm going back to the 5 feet back, or as much as I can, back into the trees themselves.
Okay, so you'll be 15 south then.
It's territorial! And that's when I scream out.
shit.
Right. Capio, you're actually moving before Titus. That's your 10 dex, so what are you doing?
Do not fight this creature. Retreat if you wish to live. And I'm going back.
Okay, so 15 feet.
Yeah.
As far, so, all right, you're next to Marcus then.
This is your doing.
It's the Lord of Lights doing.
Thank you. I think.
It invokes a slight sweat.
Oh, and when I have retreated as far back as I can go, I will put my own protection upon me. The Ostium Decidium.
Okay.
And as the black bone structure intermingles with the light.
So cool.
Black and gold. Okay.
He's a Steelers boy.
There you go. Titus.
It's just me and Cassius standing out completely in view. This has ours clocked.
Cassius actually delays, and he tries to pull. He like feebly tries to pull at you. He's scared to touch you because you're a lord, but he like feebly tries to pull at you and looks at Marcus, and then when Marcus gives him the head up, he moves. So you're at the very point of the group. You're right at that tree line. You haven't stepped out, but you're right there.
I know when to pay respects to my betters. And I'll take my sword out, put it down, kneel, and kind of like bow as if it's a lord. And yeah.
Okay. Right at the tree line?
Mm-hmm. Actually, I'll take like a step or two out, kind of like a pageantry, basically, if I was walking before a queen or a king.
Okay. Your entire world is enveloped in green, choking, scorching gas.
Nice.
You feel and for a moment you lose sight of your leader completely.
Can't run. Would have killed me anyway.
Weisa. So there is. I'm going to resolve Weisa first, actually. You feel your own archetypal nature rise up to offer whatever protection it can in your blood from this thing. Also, you are free to make a Constitution check if you'd like.
I'm free to make a Constitution.
In fact, I strongly recommend
That's all you suggest.
you make a
Unless you want to accept it and breathe it in.
I just had a really original idea to have a Constitution check. Okay. Oh, 6.
Okay. You also get that +4 from the bless.
1d4.
1d4, that's true. Yeah.
So
Go ahead and roll that. 1. Okay.
Lucky number 7.
And you're adding your con to that? Yep.
Yep.
Okay. So fortunately, you do have your innate self. I'm going to use the same roll for both of y'all. And that would be... Oof. Okay, that's pretty bad.
Those things are.
So, yeah. Yeah, your blood rushes up, and as you're choking and gagging on this awful, blinding stream, that you can feel that spiritus flowing through you, and you wind up would have been 36 points of poison damage, but you wind up taking 18.
Wow.
Are you still up?
Yeah,
I believe you're still up.
5 more.
Okay, 5 more to go. All right. You feel a powerful surge of warmth through your body, and it originates from the green-tinted seashell necklace that the love of your life gave to you. And having attacked the creature with shining intelligence in its eyes, regards you. Oh. It's hovering in the air.
Love?
With advantage.
I've done that in a while.
Because it is shocked and you should have advantage on this. Make a persuasion check.
I am going to use a morale point too.
I think that's wise. I think that's wise.
Golly. So that is a nat 20.
Get the
Hold on, don't touch that die. Okay. Yeah, it is. I trust you. I just on rolls like this, I want to see it with my own eyes. Okay.
Plus die on top of it.
So that is a +1. So 26 plus 27.
And the bless.
29.
Does the bless? Does he get to use it for
Ability roll?
ability rolls too?
I don't believe so.
Chubby, do you remember?
I thought it was attack rolls.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Attack roll or saving roll.
Okay, never mind.
So no bless on that.
That's fine. Still.
It's a meager 27.
Yeah, it's just a 27. Oh man.
Wow.
All right. It is a dragon, y'all,
It is a dragon.
and so it's going to make a bad attitude roll. That's pretty high. Okay. At night, you die. And it turns, rounds. Because you did very well, Marcus, on that animal handling roll, and you were keyed in a way that nobody else was, I want you to make another either animal handling roll or insight roll.
Do I have to choose which before I roll?
Yes.
Well, they're the same.
But because they're going to hit you different. They're going to get you slightly different information.
Right. Insight.
Insight? Okay.
Not that time. 9.
There's something in the behavior that you feel like you should understand, or some additional layer to its behavior you feel like you should be able to catch, and you can't, unless you as the player know what happened there.
What do you think about it?
Okay.
Do I have say anything before it flies away?
It's taking off. You can try to yell something after it.
Oh, yeah, after it said like you die tonight, I would say like if it's meant to be.
You. The head turns back around and glints at you, and for a second, why don't you make an insight roll at disadvantage?
Disadvantage, my favorite. So that is actually a 10. 11 minus 1.
You get the crude message of, "Don't push your luck."
I always do. All right.
And it rapidly flies off, arcs intelligently, not like a beast, over the village, disappearing. It's probably still, honestly, on the far side of the village. It hasn't left the area. And you hear it distantly you hear it land somewhere, and then either it stills itself or it has a means of moving even more quietly than before, and you lose track of it. So it is y'all have an idea of how big Pollux was. I know, Randy, you do, but so it's maybe Pollux, the entirety of Pollux, you could probably fit in slightly bigger than slightly larger than a football field.
So, I mean, does it hide behind these things? What do I see when I'm looking at this thing fly away?
I mean, you see it in flight, and it is an awesome sight, Corey. Even as relatively young as it is, but it cannily, like a hunter, it cannily gets under the roofline of the far side of the village and just
disappears.
Yeah. You would be surprised though if it wasn't lurking.
Right. It like somehow bundles up.
Lurking. Yeah, because you're looking at its sinewy body, and even though it's muscular, it also looks quite limber. And you can just imagine you picture like
snake or something.
A snake, exactly. Yeah, coiling up and then reducing its size down to a tiny fraction of what it should be. All right, what do y'all do?
Titus will kind of stand up, kind of look out, and then he's just going to kind of collapse.
Okay.
Just exhausted.
I'm going to go back. I'm going over to Weisa because she looks like she's in a pretty bad place right now.
Yes. Again, because you were focused on it, I'm going to see if you catch this one last thing, Marcus. Go ahead and make another insight roll.
That's better. It's 15.
Okay. His mouth came within a hair's breadth of it turning around and ripping the insolent human to shreds. Okay.
Which human?
That human. As we all point. That
Mr. Popular.
You wonder if dragons view themselves in the same way that patricians view plebeians.
Domine, I would.
I'm laying on the ground.
Can I? I'm just gonna.
Weisa's right there because she didn't move from. She was the closest to Titus.
I'm gonna burn through these things, dude. I just can't have you go in there like that. So I'm going to put my hand on your shoulder. I'm gonna put my hand on my healing, and I'm going to just allow that warmth to flow through my hand down into her, cleansing out what's inside out first, in case there's any kind of like sludge or whatever inside of you. Inside out first, and then healing from inward out.
All right. Your god has not abandoned you.
Thank God.
You feel that? You feel the golden light flow through you and then into her.
You got
+7.
Yeah, I know. You got 9.
Thank you, Marcus.
Nerd walks up. Gabriel, how far are we from the dome? From here?
Is it
9.
9?
The dome. I mean, you're about a mile.
Walked the same distance I did, young.
But remember, it's a mile through. A lot of that is through.
We need to find the last answer to the question. Get there before midnight.
Domine, an insight that I might have had. I ain't sure. I don't really deal with them too often. It's the first time I've ever seen one.
Marcus, a moment. I mean, he just saw everything engulfed and thought he was going to fucking... So he's just like, can't really deal with that right now.
Yeah, Weisa's probably the same place.
Well, it's important, so when that moment is up, let me know.
You bet.
We must together move now and
Yes.
find out what information we can from the village before the
Agreed.
dragon comes.
I have a state of execution till nightfall.
Who is ready, willing, and able? Weisa, are you badly injured? Just scratching her.
Yeah.
You hear your sword sister cough.
Yeah.
I had a thought on the way here.
I'll help myself up. And then I'll walk over and I'll help Weisa up from hiding behind the tree.
No, I'm sitting right there, so.
Oh, yeah. I just didn't know if she was down or out or what.
Okay.
I'm just staring at Titus, and I think there's been like some antagonism, maybe some light antagonism you would say between them. I think this will be the first time that you will like.
He's got brass
there's
balls.
like
Yeah.
there's some like a glint of respect in that because that was crazy. That
was
should not
the
have
most insane
happened.
thing ever.
I and I am actually taken aback. And I'm looking at you in a different way. I think you can tell that now.
Yeah.
Before we go in, does Cassius perhaps know who these villagers worshipped? Can you ask him that question?
Absolutely. Marcus, what were you going to say?
The same way that we deal with you, Lord. I believe, I could be wrong again, that it kind of considers itself the patrician amongst us. So
Patricians don't kill without reason.
It was about that close. Like, about that close.
With respect, that is not the case, as evidenced by your cousin. And need I remind you all, just because the words were spoken does not mean they are true.
That's true.
We have no stay of execution.
Well,
What's going
Still
on with
roaming
our
about.
friend?
With Vibius,
I'm always checking in on
He's
that
been
guy.
very far behind.
no, he was about to say, do I have to? I think I just want to, and he plops down. He's 15 feet away from where the group is now because he went with you, Marcus.
Our ultimate goal is to get this third question answered.
Does anyone have any experience with dragons?
no.
Information?
Capio might be the only one here.
Dragon?
Do you have any
Is that what it is?
experience with this dragon, Capio?
I have experience with no dragons. Nor does anyone living, I am sure.
I'm not sure I am living right now.
I think you might be.
Do I recognize that poison? Like, is it familiar to me? Or does it feel like something very, very different from what I know?
This is nothing that you've encountered before. If you want to,
Love it.
this is gonna be a weird roll, but it's not really insight in the traditional sense. But go ahead and roll. This is like an ancestral memory check.
We have to take the chance.
For what? Insight?
If Cassius knows the answer, we can just leave.
15.
How's he going to tell us the answer?
I first want to know, give him a nod.
You've never run into it before.
He also might know Tatlo.
It's oddly familiar to you.
Might be able to carve it in the ground.
This is me as the player asking. Do you guys remember the 3 questions succinctly?
I do.
Yeah.
The 3 questions are, what is my name? Did we get that? So we have Tessaryn now.
Storm Warden.
And then the second is, what is the name of the person who made the strongest argument? We have Coyolli.
Coatl.
Coyolli.
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 And that's, we think, sufficient
Yeah.
as an answer?
Yes.
And then the third is it's less of a question, it's to bring
More of
peace.
a, yeah.
It's a
This
beckons.
village.
Bring peace to this village.
To those
So-
who died here.
And the last one is what God gives the gold. So we do have.
I guess not then. That's because the what God gave the gold would be Coyolli. Can't even think of his name right now, but him. Who gave the best argument? I'm not sure.
The Dawnstar?
That was
Coatl?
Coyolli.
Okay.
Yeah, we have Coyolli as who gave the best argument. We don't have
We don't have
the God
him.
that gives the gold.
That's who
We
these...
know that it's not
Which is the name of
Coyolli,
your god?
No, it's the name of whoever Jason Tenderheart worshipped or served.
which we're getting closer
Assumption being
to.
that it's the same source.
Yeah.
We're getting closer to with the beings like who serve them are Loy, they live on Lucida. But we got closer to like you had a theory, and I wanted to put this as a player to remind us of your theory, which was Roth was the 8th name, the 8th light. Quaylith was the other moon. Tessaryn was the lost brother, and Jason. So we need to have that question answered, is what I'm saying,
Oh yeah.
before we.
Which is why
Forget.
we need to find out who these people worship.
Yes.
And
So we need to go investigate. This is all as the player.
Yep.
Okay.
Cassius knows we don't need to go to investigate. That's why I'm asking if we can find out.
How are we gonna? Have we tried if Cassius? Is it Cassius?
Cassius.
Cassius.
First, a nod of his head would be good.
Could he write in the mud?
If he knows Tatlo. Does he know the secret of the word?
He was a seneschal. Cassius, can you write?
Probably.
Would you mind answering the question, writing in the mud?
You sense a reluctance, and then a slow nod, a slow kind of shaky nod.
I've been asking a lot of you, and I appreciate it.
What did you ask?
I didn't ask anything yet.
Cassius was beside you, by the way, when you got blasted. It didn't seem to do anything to.
Oh yeah, I thought he was further back. That's why
he was
oh,
with
okay.
you the whole time.
But he did kneel with me though.
When you went out as the Lord, he stayed. He knelt, but he stayed in place.
Yeah, that's why. Okay, sweet. I didn't know if it was a breaster.
I'm gonna walk up to Cassius and put my arm on Cassius. We need an answer to a question. Can you bend down and write the answer in the mud?
You may not know the question of that. You may know the question of who these people worship, though.
Aye, let's start there. Do you know who was worshipped in this village? What god?
Have you ever seen a dragon before? People don't get out much on this island.
I presume I don't know anything about the Green Doom or the destruction of the Relit people previously.
Make a history check. Weisa, why don't you make that history check too?
Ooh, that's a dirty 20.
Yeah.
Well, look at you.
Your DC's lower. Her DC is going to be lower because she should know this.
11.
11. Okay. I mean, you know the basics. That was the cataclysmic event in your society's history. You've actually studied it before.
The specific thing that I'm looking for in this instance is the Green Doom. You understanding that this was a green dragon?
Yeah, you would know that, KPO.
You are all familiar with the Green Doom spoken of by Tessaryn?
No.
I think
What she
might
said.
now.
But what?
Please enlighten us.
It was a great destruction of your people.
Jason defended against.
Hundreds of winters before.
Aye.
It is believed that this creature still stirs in this world, slumbers, feasts in other lands, who knows. This, also a green dragon, an offspring.
If I was a betting man, I'd say that there's definitely some relation.
Massive though it is, could it
Weisa.
still be young?
Weisa, does this village look familiar to you, like the construction? You think it might be a Relit?
Does it look that way to me?
As you're looking at it at length, there are like so many things on this island. It looks like a combination, but you are seeing subtle touches of architecture, like in the way that the lintels are rounded off, and the way that a lot of the huts seem to be oriented toward the central body of water that's in the center.
There's something familiar to this place. It's not the same, but it's similar.
The presumption that your predecessor maintained residence here. No?
And
Does it matter who these people worshipped? Do we not know the names of their deities?
Predecessor was not here. It was where her current village is, from what I understand.
Then we have taken a different meaning. Our mission, your mission, to lay these people to rest, to bring them peace. What are the rites? What are the rituals of your people? That is what you seek to do here.
Weisa, you and I possess the rituals, or are able to get it, of the Relit people. Dread Mother.
It's true. Perhaps there needs to be some proper ceremony.
Several come to mind. Several possibilities come to mind.
To my mind as well, or more hers?
More hers, because this
Yeah.
was specifically her training
Yeah, got it.
as a priestess.
should we go down and see?
I think we need to. I think we need to see
still
what's
running
going
around.
on. It is, and there's a chance we're going to have to take, but I don't think staying here in this little
We must
wall
take
of,
action.
yeah, I'm with Militia on this.
Real quickly, Angel, out of character, do I remember any symbol that Lord Zosh wore when we were in his tent?
Not in particular, no.
I have a Zosh journal. That's the one that I gave him to give him
Like a crest of the family.
Yeah.
Cassius, do you know which religion or god that your lord Zosh
Yeah,
worshipped?
same as mine.
Coatl.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
That's my grandmother's family.
He may have changed. He was kneeling to Jason Tenderheart.
I hear what
Let
you
him
say.
ask.
All
Give him
right.
an answer. I give him my sword. If he wishes.
I think he's kind of had his mind made up. Thank you, Cassius. Well,
Stays immobile.
you should go down to the village
Agreed.
and see whatever these people need to be rested from.
Like, as we ready ourselves to go, I'm going to pull Weisa to the side.
I'm actually going to walk with you guys for a minute.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell everyone to stay back, and I'm like, let me and Cassius go ahead first. If anything, sorry.
I'm going to pull Weisa to the side privately for a second and ask, Weisa, who do we need to make contact with? Will Dread Mother suffice to lay these souls to rest?
As a player, I intuitively feel like it's not enough, but I don't know if that's true.
Your intuition's correct.
Yeah.
Wee.
Okay. It's not enough. I don't know why. I wonder if we need all of them.
Aye.
Coatl, Thraluk. It does seem like there's so much balance needed here, not just her.
Well, if you can bring in Tlaluk and Coatl, I can focus on Dread Mother.
Aye.
Together, we might have a way to lay the rights that are needed.
Aye.
Weisa, why don't you make either investigation or insight, and they are going to bring different information.
Insight. 22.
Nice.
I love the call in the air. Insight.
So you're beginning to detect, as you reflect on a moment, you're beginning to detect something of a pattern in how the Storm Warden has gone about their business. And you separate out the Titus's surface words and the back and forth. And there's also another phrase that comes to your mind about ASCII Teotl, about Chosen, which you've heard before. Even on stream, you've heard before, which is steel sharpens steel. And you cannot believe that a being with that vast reservoir of experience would send you on a wild goose chase.
Tessaryn.
Like, there must be something physically here that matters. Or you could have just as easily have done this right, basically anywhere on the island.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll just say to Nelishli, let's keep our eyes open for the right place and the right things in this village.
Aye.
And you did all this privately without, just between you two? Like, I couldn't have overheard it at all? I'm going to try to overhear it. I'm sorry.
Make a perception roll.
I love that.
13. I mean, we're in a quiet forest.
Allie, make a discretion roll.
Discretion.
What do I add to that? Nothing?
We'll say charisma.
Well, it's going to be quite high for me. Hold on, where is
On the
charisma
side.
here?
It's the last one.
Sign on the bottom.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be a 16.
Okay.
Wow.
You can hear like very soft whispering, and you might even be able to pick out, a word here or there, but you can't really follow it.
It's the weird.
I'm just sitting there with my
My
head
travels.
tilted.
You left with Cassius.
Yeah, I'd be like, allow me and Cassius to go
Okay.
first. I'm like, if you don't mind, Cassius, and I'll kind of put
So
my hand on his shoulder. and help him along.
So I need to go ahead and catch up with you then.
I'm going to come with.
Okay.
Do you allow him to come with you?
I'd be like,
May I accompany you?
look over at Cassius. Can't see why not.
Okay. You forge farther into the village.
Just eyes on the sky.
You are here nice and early, It's still early morning right now.
The whole time we're walking to, I'm having a conversation purely just with Cassius, not with KPO, just being like, "Can you believe that? Dragon?" You know, it's just kind of like he just talks to that guy. He never answers.
America's gonna sit down Indian style essentially and just meditate, enjoy the forest.
And of course, as they get out of range, the blessing itself fades. I'm sure a minute's already gone by at this point.
Yeah, it fades. Thank you, Randy. Yeah. And you do feel the warmth withdraw from your body.
Incredible.
I'll put my hand on your shoulder too to try and help me walk, because he's still just fucking 2 points exhausted, man.
And you're at half movement right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why I'm kind of basically using
Weisa.
Cassius as a crutch.
Okay. So you see that the village has been pretty well flooded now, and as you get closer, you also see that it looks like, actually, I'll finish the description, but I want to see what you're picking up on. So make a nature check.
At disadvantage.
At disadvantage.
I know. That will be a 9.
9. Okay. As you're continuing, okay, you don't really understand why, but it looks like there's the beginnings of a lake that are in the center of the village, and it's a bit weird because in general, remember, this island kind of all climaxes it peaks at Jason Tenderheart's tomb, which is more or less in the center of the island, and not exactly. It's a little bit north and a little bit east, but basically centered. So this doesn't, that much you do know. So the fact that this water is pooling in this village like this toward the center doesn't make sense to you, but you can't really.
Does it have a natural depth, kind of like kind of inclination of it just getting deeper, or is it all kind of the same? Is there any transparency to the water whatsoever?
Are you going to go to the center so you can see this?
I'm not going to go to the center. I'm going to see if there's any like pooling. So if it is a drop down or like a natural spring, I know that there'd be movement. There'd be no basically like stagnancy, you know, like just any type of mold and stuff like that.
You're not seeing any good explanation for this.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just thinking, I'm like, well, if it did look like a stagnant pool of water, then I'd be like, okay, it's definitely not a natural spring. So best assumption would be, well, it is a fresh lake.
Okay.
Capio, any idea why there's a lake here? Are there any more on the island?
Not like that, no. No, that much you know.
Well, not ones with dragons, but yeah.
You can make that same
I'll go for a nature check, yeah.
Okay.
16.
Okay, yeah, you know, you also do know the island obviously much better than him, unfortunately. You probably know this island better than you ever cared to. This is a singular phenomenon. You also have the advantage of you have been near here before, although your instincts always warned you away from staying too long. It just didn't seem like a wise place to be wandering around by yourself.
And his friends.
Right, never alone. So, as you're looking at it, and you get a little bit closer to it, it looks like something has been subtly terraforming the center of the village. It's a deft hand, and you see the basic contours of the land themselves has been quietly and meticulously evolved, we'll call it, by a superior touch.
Would say, would it be akin to, let's say, nesting?
It might just be, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And you're perceiving things that in his exhaustion-induced stupor, Lord Titus is not, where it looks like there have been small rivulets that have been gouged and that are beginning to feed this lake. And then finally, because 16's high enough, you do see some modest, but again, just very intentional earth mounding, and to again kind of change the angles of that center. So it looks unnatural, but the longer you're staring at it, the more sense it's starting to make.
I will faithfully recount that to Titus.
For a real life example, think of a caldera from an exploded caldera lake.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But if you've never seen that before, which your characters have not because you're not around volcanoes, yeah. But that's kind of what you're looking at, where it's favoring the east side.
Would it be similar to like Macaria or anything I would have read about that, since it is kind of a volcanic island?
You know that, yes, actually, since you asked that specifically, some of those you're too tired to really run it down right now. But you do know that they have these weird lakes that are sitting on top of Firetop Mountains.
So it's the dragon's home.
It does appear that way, yes.
Is
Painstakingly crafted.
It still looks early days, though, guys.
Yes.
It doesn't look fit for its majesty.
Does it look like anyone else is here?
No longer. This was before my time.
May have been before time. And then we'll slowly kind of make our way to like kind of the closest hut, I would assume.
Are there any bodies around? Are there any remains?
Not obvious, no. But you expect that at some point there either should be a killing field because of the history of this sad place, or the dragon has gone out of its way to clean up or organize.
Do you remember when the storm warden came down from the sky?
Yes.
Do you think something could have came from the sky to make that lake?
Well, given your recent encounter with a sky-bound behemoth, yes, it's possible.
Perhaps the dragons from up there.
Maybe.
Maybe that's what killed everyone.
I don't think so.
I don't think much about anything. And then, yeah, we'll kind of...
You start poking your heads into the huts. Sad remnants of happier times. The huts do seem markedly more, I don't know if advanced is the right word, but markedly more equipped and stocked than, struggling peasants. So you see like actual wooden furniture in there. You see rotted cushions. You see the odd loom and like private looms inside of these places. So whoever was here was pretty well advanced. And there seems to be a running theme of cut cordwood, and a lot of these have stacked logs that are alongside them, long rotted, but still there.
Is there any inclination of like stones that are either green, black, white, something that like familiar with the relit that would kind of like give us that clue to it?
Nothing that obvious, no. Okay. Just quickly, Merrick, you kind of feel a roiling inside of you. Remember, even though we've been playing this out for a long time, this has still been very, very compressed.
Day two.
You haven't even. Well, yeah, y'all.
It's been a long day.
Y'all have just about been here for 24 hours now. Finally, I mean, it's all of this has happened in one day. So you feel unsettled.
Trauma.
You feel the roiling inside of yourself.
I'm trying to settle myself.
Okay.
That's right. The meditation's for
that's what you're doing. Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
Marcus, what are you doing while this is going on? And then I'll get to the distaff members.
I'm moving over to them now because I was actually Weisa. I have a question about your gods and some of the funeral practices that you have. Is there a specific order of the gods that need to be observed? And would the potential outlying, not the right word, pattern of this little village indicate where those gods should be in relation to that? Is it something that we have to set up for the whole village to put the whole village to sleep, to rest?
Fair question. I would know that.
You should, yes. So, according to the threefold path, Coatl would be invoked first, then Talak, and then Tek'patl at the end.
I would relay that information. And And I wouldn't understand too the
What he's asking, so your character maybe is even a little bit embarrassed. You're so far out of training, and you've come so far. You haven't thought about public ritual, honestly, for the whole time you've been in Germentum. It hasn't been a thing. Like, you've kept your own practice, your own spiritual practice, but so you're like having to knock off, and you were only 11 when you left. So you were getting trained, but you're having to like pull that back in, and you know that he's right. You know that there are specific patterns, there are specific material. You're not going to have all of that here, but as he's talking, go ahead and make a religion check. And initially, very, very different thing for you. But as you're sitting here and looking at this thing's domain, make an insight roll actually for you.
14.
Okay.
Never really do well on that one. That's going to be a 9.
Okay. Some sort of ancestral memory starts bobbing around in there. Something to do with dragons, but it doesn't.
I dream of dragon.
doesn't quite get there. All right, you Weisa start feeling pulled toward the center, like your blood actually starts resonating with something over there.
The center of the village.
The center of the village. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll go there.
All right.
Follow.
Initially, do you go as well?
Yes.
All right.
Can I just inquire though?
Sure.
Like when I see the water, do I feel any kind of pull towards that water? Is there anything that is feeling spidey sensea to me?
Not exactly, but the water feels. You know how like being out on the open water was weird and a little bit disorienting. This feels like coming home in a way, even though it shouldn't.
Yeah. There is. So we're walking closer towards the village, right?
Yeah. To the village center now.
How far would you say we are now from that?
From the center?
Yeah.
Maybe another 60, 70 feet.
Okay.
And we would have signaled that it was safe. Yeah. Okay.
Well, they're coming regardless, but yes, you would have told them.
That makes sense.
I'm gonna continue to walk with my eyes kind of locked on the lake. I'm almost like being pulled in.
Okay. It's nice to see something that feels familiar after all of this chaos. It's really nice.
So I'm walking next to the ladies. She's feeling like she's being drawn on in towards the center. She's like got her eyes fixed on that water. Can I do an insight roll to see if like, or just get some insight into what they're feeling right now?
Sure.
Gotcha.
That's a very good question.
What am I feeling? Please tell me.
Help her with her feelings.
With a 19.
Nalishli is easier to read, of course, because she never really tries to hide what she's feeling or experiencing. So she seems, she seems transfixed on the lake and maybe a little bit more at ease in her body language. With Weisa, you feel like she's having one of those interior moments that she very rarely speaks about.
And Weisa would be really trying to remember herself as Ixley right now.
Okay. Make another roll. Let me just roll and die 20. Let me see where we're at. 10. Okay. The feeling doesn't diminish anyway, and you find yourself. So even though what I have set up here has like a spot of really deep water, as you hit the center, you're wading. So it's like wading into a kiddie pool. So you're wading into about maybe a foot of water. Just to be in this area. And you get to the largest. You get all the way to the largest of the huts, where the cordwood is bobbing and has been largely displaced. You see the trees that are growing through here have an odd turn to them. They have none of the grace, actually, I was going to say or the solidity, but they do look solid. They don't have the elegance, though, of the forest that you're used to seeing. They're pretty alien to your eyes, and indeed one of them has grown and pushed through the roof of one of the huts that's nearest to you. So you're now so you're kind of making your way through here. Oops. You're making your way through here. And so y'all three, Weisa, Marcus, and Elishli are there.
And we were just watching them walk into the water.
Mm-hmm. You had not gone into the water.
No, I'm like,
I would still be looking around. If we have completed our investigation, I would be watching around. But I'm looking for anyone I can talk to.
yeah, same.
Okay. Yeah, a little bit different from what KPO's looking. Yeah.
No, but
Still
I have my guy. I got my guy. I know. I'm sure he misses a buddy.
This place, and the theme continues, KPO. This place is vexatingly clean. Yeah. For all of the chaos. And I'm gonna say because y'all have been rolling pretty well, you have a bit of an insight into the dragon's mentality, where what it considers chaotic and what it considers beauty. And if you layer this out through decades, you can kind of start constructing in your mind what this lake, what this caldera lake would look like, what the trees growing out of it grown mighty, how the huts at the center would be obliterated, and it would be surrounded though by a very defensible glade that it couldn't be snuck up on all around.
Like reclaiming itself.
So you get to what looks like a larger drop off, and because you do have the observant feat. So again, I'm not going to, and no exhaustion, so I'm not going to make you roll for this. You glance down, and it looks like there is a much deeper portion that you're about to step into.
I would pause.
Okay, and that's not obvious from outside until you're almost on top of it. Go ahead.
I would tell my friends, this water goes very deep.
So you're right.
I have an idea. I'm going to touch the water.
Okay.
Just the top of it. Mm-hmm. I'm going to cast light as far down as I can go, and move it just as far down.
So your light is touch only.
Would the water as a whole count if I could just send it down through the water?
No. No. You make a torch worth of glow there. Hold on. Let me continue with her. So that's what you do. What do you want to do on the edge?
What do I want to do on the edge?
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to put Weisa down so you know? Yeah. Okay. We're working on a unevolved form of Weisa because I feel like
Get the braids out of here.
Yeah.
She's not bringing her pie to the island.
The island has changed.
To offer the dragon pie.
And do I feel like, do I get the sense that it goes deep? Like, is it a large depth, or is it like a small, like in the sense that it's a little pocket, or is it like a whole cavern of deeper water?
Like, does it look like Jacob's well? Like how deep that goes, or?
Since you all do have time to look at this again, I'm not going to make you roll because you're just staring and looking around. It looks like this it goes further than you can see, and you don't. It's impossible to know from your vantage point if it's straight down and then it opens up, or if it's just a straight shot. But it is large enough that the dragon, and because you remember how well it was moving, sluicing through the water silently, and to your mind, dragons would be creatures of water and land. That's how they're known to the Relit and to you as well. So you can visualize this thing going deep into this as a sort of haven. Lessers could not pursue it in.
Okay. Well, I was drawn here, so I'm going to maybe swim and see what I feel.
Okay.
And before
Fish in a pond.
I'm gonna put my hand on her shoulder if she.
Okay, yeah, you see her start to.
You're like, oh, wait. Before we do anything rash,
I was drawn here.
I'm sure you were. There's a lot of people who have drawn a lot of places, but maybe let's take a moment and
I
breath.
trust my intuition.
I trust it as well, but we don't know if it's coming back. We don't know what it lives in. We don't know
Watch my back.
how.
Swimming in armor is a particularly good idea.
How?
Nobody asked me.
And I don't know how to swim.
Can I ask as a
Nobody
player
asks us anything.
if Nilishli tries to swim,
watching them
just
swim.
because she's like pretty fucking high constitution, can she hold her breath for a really long time?
Yeah.
How long would you say?
You don't know. You've never tried.
Can I feel it in my bones?
I mean, when you give it almost like a kid, you're like,
Deep breathe.
it doesn't seem to bother you for a good while.
Okay. Before Weisa does that, I'm going to put my hand on her shoulder and say, Weisa.
2 hands. 2 hands from these big people.
Lamp.
So funny.
Wait, I'll go with you.
Okay.
Because I can see she's obviously trying to wade into the water.
Okay. On that note, I'm going into my pack. I'm pulling out a couple of the bladders of oil that we had, emptying the oil, and filling it up with air and popping it just in.
While you're doing that, are you gonna hang out while he's doing that, or are you gonna start swimming?
Making air pockets for you.
Where's the oil
Hold
going,
on.
by the way?
I want that answer.
Honestly, she just wants to do it.
Yeah, no, that's what I think. Okay, so you start fiddling around with ARPA bladders, and she's in the water. Do you leave your boots
Yeah.
at the side? Okay.
Sure.
So now they're gonna bob. So Marcus, you probably want to take her boots.
I do want to note that Winter's Harvest is going to be tied around my body. I am going to swim with it.
Okay. Okay. Both of y'all make athletic checks.
It's 15.
17.
17. Okay.
Nice.
Swimming comes.
That's what's up, girlie.
Swimming comes to the Urlit ladies just fine.
Pool day.
Pool and spa day.
Let's go.
You actually you're drawn east, as seems to be. It's always north or east in these situations. So you swim and you rapidly get into this largest hut here. So you're now actually inside of the Dragon's Day Spa.
Oh, nice.
Where it kept this nicely sturdily built hut, but you swim in and it's completely hollowed it out now. So it has a nice little enclosed poolside place to snuggle up.
Cute.
There's no place for a human, you're almost certain that it can breathe water as well as air. You see.
Do we notice any shelves or storage bits or anything that would conceal something in here?
You do see what looks like a row of rocks that are weirdly regular in their spacing, but they have jagged edges, and you just get this picture of it going up and scratching itself on the rocks.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is pure pleasure.
This is the pleasure hut. Let's get out of here.
Is it just totally filled with water? Can I go up and get any air, or?
Yeah, the hut is still the hut's still a hut.
So the water went into the hut, and then we're coming up in it.
Yeah. Imagine
okay.
it dug out
Yeah. Okay.
So the water's about 4 or 5 feet from the bottom here.
a whole chunk in there. Oh no, this is part of this. It has now made it part of this big drop off.
It's on the edge of the drop
It's on the edge of the drop off.
Yeah. But that drop off actually, imagine that extending into the hut. So there are, because of how it clawed it out, it didn't take quite as much care in here, because it's public, it's private, so it can be a little sloppier here. And there are little impromptu handholds that you can find, like rocks jutting out, or pieces of, or maybe some roots that administer that sort of thing.
Okay.
You can take a breather here.
Okay. I would just keep going. I would go maybe, what is that? Counterclockwise.
Okay, so swim around, and you're making a nice tour this place.
That's the island.
As you pass a certain threshold, go ahead and make an investigation check, or actually perception.
7.
Okay. Nenetl, I'm going to let you make that roll too. It's higher DC, but
Perception or
perception.
or anything else I could do?
It's just perception.
That's
a hard
me
one.
an 8.
Okay. All right. So
You have inspiration.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna need it later. though.
I think we all need it later.
We always need later.
No, I'm not feeling it in this one. I'm gonna need it further down.
okay.
All right.
So you swim back out. You see them. You breathe a sigh of relief as you see them reemerge from inside of this hut. You should be feeling paranoid about like your legs and getting snatched or whatever, but you feel weirdly safe right now,
great.
or at ease.
Yeah.
You're just kind of tooling around.
It's natural springs.
Do I have any sense about what's in the center?
It's too far. It's dark.
I wanted to add that, like, so we're swimming back out, so we're kind of like hovering above the depth, the deepest part. Okay, so I'm gonna look at Weisa at that point and say, like, why don't I swim down halfway, see how far it goes, and I'll resurface.
Are you strong enough a swimmer for that?
As you're treading water.
Yeah, I think, like, I'm just gonna be like,
Swimming.
obviously, yes.
It takes some air.
I've never seen you swim until this moment, but okay, all right.
Like a duck to water. And then she's just gonna go under.
Okay.
Sploosh. I guess not.
Nope, it's bobbing.
You never take air. It's air.
Our bladder is bobbing. All right, Nenetl, you're swimming in the deep.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna go down slowly at first.
Okay.
Down until it's getting darker and darker. And
Yep.
I'm going to be looking all around me and noticing if the temperature changes.
Getting cold. It's rapidly getting colder.
Okay. Noticing as well, like, and I am as well going to send up a silent prayer to Dread Mother
Okay.
as I'm going down and feeling the cold, like almost like it's reminding me of her, and just say, Dread Mother, be with me.
All right. Make a perception roll while you're down there. It's a hard one for you, but see what you can do.
Yeah. 9.
Okay. You lose the visual pretty quickly. I will say this though, even with the 9, there's just something. You'd still feel that. The way that the water is flowing down here is different. Like there's a current down here, and you have to be. It's subtle enough right now that you're not in danger of getting swept, but some memory of probably some priestess who nearly drowned back in the day warns you that at any moment there's this thing called an undertow, and you can be fine one moment, and then the next. Get snagged and taken for a ride that maybe even you won't survive.
So there's nothing that I really noticed down here. I just noticed the current feels strong.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
go
interrupt
ahead.
something.
Coffee.
Go ahead on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Marcus.
We all have needs.
Yep. No, it happens. It happens. Hey, it's live television. Okay, so that's what's going on with you.
So I don't notice any other surroundings, physical, like demarcations on the cavern around me.
Unfortunately, no.
Can I, assuming my breath still feels like do I feel full of air at this point?
You're starting to feel an unfamiliar urge.
Okay.
Is there anything that Nenetl does that creates light?
I was just gonna ask that.
No, but there is something that Marcus does that creates light,
So
which
that's
is
where I
light.
was leaning off to. I was about to ask Marcus.
And the reason I say it that way is because you literally just saw him.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. I just want to say I was gonna come to this in character though. So if my breath is
Sorry.
No, it's good. But if my breath is feeling like I need it, at this point I am gonna swim back up.
Okay, you're not desperate. You're not desperate or anything for.
It's like
breath.
feeling uncomfortable.
It's starting to, yeah.
Then I'm gonna swim back up
Okay, you
and
do. No
realize that I need light at this point. And I was gonna swim back to Weisa and tell her we need light down there.
Marcus.
While they were down there, I didn't want to interrupt and all the stuff that you were doing. While they were down there, though,
Well, only she was down there. You
well,
just-
even when they went down there the first time,
Yeah.
like I was actually going to look around for something heavy, like a rock, something that I could have actually lit and then just dropped down to them while they were down below. But seeing as she came back up,
It's the most aquatic focused.
There's not really much drifting around here, so you're gonna have to leave this immediate area. Okay.
Our weapon, illuminated.
I can try.
Call.
Do you mind if I give it a
Well,
go?
I've heard that he said that.
You were probably still swimming.
You're probably down. You're probably still down there.
I mean, I can try. I can do the same thing to a close, too, just fine. As she comes up. So, we have a question. Do you trust my light against your sword, or against your glaive? So, or I can just actually make your shirt glow. But that'll make a target of you if anything's down there.
How about we tried your light?
That's
Or-
what I'm going to put it on.
Initially, and I'm gonna take one of my pylums and hand it over and be like, that might be easier if you're
Oh, I like that.
swimming.
Did you wade into the water?
Oh no, aren't you there too?
I'm with him on the edge of the water. I'm
Oh, I
telling
would have been
you.
with Marcus, and I was stable.
Well, so Marcus is at the edge of the precipice, but remember, there's about a foot of water that I couldn't display here.
Oh, okay.
But it overtakes this entire area.
I would have gone to wherever he is to tell him
Okay.
to do that thing.
Okay, you would have had time to do that,
Cash is what I went for.
and you would have gone in. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, there's been ample time.
Not really. Take
So the
my.
pylum, I'll take the pylum and I'll wait till she's back up. Ready? So a set amount of time. You only get about a minute or so.
A minute with the light? Is it already lit?
It was an hour.
It's a torch.
Oh, it's a torch. Oh, okay. I thought it was a concentration.
That's fast.
Yeah, I'm so
It's a torch.
Apologies.
That would be
All
rough.
right. You should have time. Yeah, and I'm just gonna.
And it's a pylum I'm seeing?
Yeah.
And it's already lit?
Titus, from
Yeah,
Titus.
now.
Yeah.
Needs your arms to swim.
I'm just gonna take it.
It's like a harpoon, basically.
It has-
That's why it'd be a lot easier than Grim Harvest.
It's attached to her back.
Whoops. Never mind. I found it.
To Capio's point, you're going to have a hell of a time swimming with that thing.
Okay, never mind.
So you've already got your thing strapped to your back.
Yeah.
I'm just afraid of light on Grim
that.
Harvest.
Yeah, but
Or something on that you are wearing. And
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, good.
Okay.
I agree.
So you good?
Your call.
we can't change it now because it's already lit. The
No, well, I
pylum's
can do
lit.
as many times as I want.
You can, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay, I'm gonna say respectfully, I'm gonna need something easier to swim with. I'm gonna give it back to you.
I'll hand it off back to you.
You're passing this glowing pylum around.
I'll extinguish it. like, just,
What if,
Gosh,
what
I've never
if,
seen anything like
Claire, what if we also dropped that down to the bottom
well,
to see where the current, was taken by the current?
it only goes so far. So it'd be a matter of if it gets outside of my range, I can't do much more with it. It'll just fade itself out naturally.
You actually don't know
There's
that.
a
You actually don't think that.
That it might get to something before you get to something. It could wake something up.
The books
Aye.
are
Yeah, let's try it. Yeah.
Okay, and then let's then I have another weapon on my back though besides Winter's Harvest.
Oh, nice.
I have a bow and arrow typically, don't I?
For you, I think it's a pylum, but
A
check.
pylum?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Check.
I've used a bow and arrow before, but let's just say okay. So I'm gonna use the pylum that's attached to my back,
also a scythe.
Perfect.
not the Winter's Harvest,
You do have your small scythe.
and that's to my side.
Yeah.
That's better.
That's better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you my scythe.
Yeah.
Slide it back in.
We got there. We got
And
there.
then I'm also
Rock
gonna grab
coin.
the pylum from you,
Kissing.
and I'm gonna tell you guys I'm gonna drop this and see where the current
Players,
takes.
you gotta go through this.
Can I have more than one light things going on at the same time?
What's that?
Can I
Two?
have more than one light going on at the same time?
No, one extinguishes this.
So here's what we say. Here's what you're doing.
Hold on, Randy. So I want to make a point because I don't want to just blow through this and trivialize this. So as soon because you've never this is important stuff, guys. You've never done this before. Like you've never worked through these logistics before, and you're doing it right now. So every time this is still a minor miracle. So I don't want to trivialize this. You're not a pest dispenser. So every time you're invoking a god, every time you're breaking the laws of physics, every time you feel that warmth flowing through you.
Understood.
All right. So you tap the pilum. That begins to glow. You shift to the scythe, to the hand sickle. The light leaves because you're only a fit conduit for one thing at a time, which again is also a reminder of your limitations as a mortal. That goes into the sickle. The sickle lights up with a divine, physics-defying holy light, and now it's aglow. And just to clear this up mechanically, but also to blend that in with the role playing, you know instinctively that as long as you can touch these things, they can go as far as they go. That's fine. So you're thinking of, you might be as the player thinking of Katrin's stuff, but her things work fundamentally differently than yours do.
That makes sense.
So you touch one thing, and you now know this. Like, you assumed that it would leave, or you're worried about it. So there's going to be at some point where Marcus sees her go past what he thought his range was, and she's fine.
Good to know.
Now listen, be careful.
Do my best.
And take a blot of air with you in case you need more air down there. Please, I just filled those up for you.
Weisa would want to join her on this part.
Lucy,
Okay.
remember that mother in that field.
I'll take the
Where you
bladder.
from?
Thank you.
There's two of them. Let's load them.
Just take
And here's
the
your
one.
boots, all safe and sound, snug and warm.
You know, wash those bladders out. There's some oil in there.
What's your passive
Bladder's
perception?
also gonna be pretty hard to swim down with.
18.
18.
She flexed it into her shirt.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't really swim with a ball.
To bobble,
Yeah.
because it's be like life vest.
Because Titus had earlier drawn your attention to the architecture, and I had specifically said the lintels are rounded off, you happen to glance up because you're just in the habit of always looking around. You're one of those rare people who actually looks up. Most people in game and in real life never look up, and you can hide quite well up there.
There's microphones here.
So you look up and you see and you see it looks like something as the light increases and it's shifting direction and angle. You see it looks like something is woven into the lintel. So above, and you're the only person that has recognized it. It's also in Valkyrie, so there are only 2 people here who could read it.
Damn, my people were here. Wow. It's official. Okay, so I'm seeing this before I swim?
About now, like about as Nalishli's resurfaced, getting ready for the deep dive. You're constantly scanning your surroundings, and this time your eyes pass over and you see it.
Okay, I would go over to try to read what was written.
Okay, and you dive back down. All right, with the empowered sickle, with the glowing sickle. All right, I'm going to stick with Nalishli then, quickly, and then we'll go to break. Okay, so you head down. This time you are aware. Last roll down here, Allie. Make a nature check as you see certain creatures darting around.
Whoa.
30. 20. Sorry.
20?
Holy crap.
20 though.
Dirty
Okay.
20.
That'll do, pig. That'll do. So you see schools of fish down here. You see what might be the junior fan club of the dragon. So little newts that are greenish, that are kind of swimming around. One of them in particular, one of the larger ones, larger still being like smaller than a cat, is eyeballing you. And the light goes 20 feet out with quote unquote bright light, and then another 20 feet out in quote unquote dim light. So at the edges, about 40 feet out in every direction, you are swimming in a vast space once you get down. So you probably have to get down maybe 30 or 40 feet down. So this thing has been at this for a hot minute. Or it's just very good at burrowing. And you don't know, it goes much farther. You can just kind of tell from the way that the currents are going, and you know that fish are not going to be darting into a wall. So even though, you know, the way that they're darting out of your 40-foot radius, you know that there's a lot more space out there.
Does it feel like I'm in, I wouldn't maybe not know what this is, but does it feel like I'm in like connected like cave network?
Potentially, yes. That's speculation,
Okay.
even with the 20, because you just don't have enough data, but that could be the case. And some of that little earlier ancestral memory, okay, I'll use the word it actually is, it niggles at your subconscious, where it would be about on brand for these creatures, especially the younger ones, the lesser ones, which you know this to be. Instinctively, you know this to be very sneaky and have ways. They're just as adept in the water as they are in the air, and in some ways prefer it because they know that y'all don't function as well. So you'd be surprised if it didn't have ways in and out that weren't this. Take that for what you will.
How's my breath now that I'm at basically the bottom?
Oh, you haven't reached the bottom.
Oh, this is all just, I don't see a bottom yet.
You do not see
Okay.
a bottom. You've hit about that halfway point.
Okay.
It's about that time, or you're gonna risk. You want to push it?
I didn't even know you had to breathe until now. This is so exciting.
She is still a living creature.
Oh, for sure.
I'm gonna come back up.
Okay. All right. You.
Me.
You're back up. The sickle worked perfectly. No problem. And she was far past where you could see.
I would say, I wonder what it'd be like to slay someone with that thing.
Right.
So you look at what is one of your people's death poems that's been laced through the lintel, and you remember that they have that ritual, that's an important part of the ritual of their passing, if they know that they're going to pass.
If they know they're going to pass?
If they know they're going to pass. Every Relit, be they priestess, be they humble farmer, be they merchant, whatever, everyone is supposed to write a death poem. It's part of their, it's part of their token of getting, of being accepted by Tek'patl. An act of submission and appeasement to her.
And being on the doorway is like one person's poem or a family's poem, do I know?
We will get to that when we get back.
Exciting.
All right. Well, there have been some aquatic shenanigans so
The
far.
most aquatic.
Good
Focus.
episode title. We should do
Yeah,
that.
aquatic shenanigans. And perhaps not
Darkeport
quite
with Steve Zissou.
perhaps not quite the way that things could have run at the beginning there, but we like that.
I would have missed you guys.
We like nat 20s. So our trivia question today, continuing on with the Relit theme, is so Coatl was the Lord of the Dawnstar was the answer for the last one. Coatl was born of a mortal mother, unique amongst the Relit gods, or is said to have been born of a mortal mother. What was her name? To dig a little bit more for that. And quick, because I missed these. Grim Reaper and HD Styles, thank you so much for giving us memberships, 5 memberships, I think each. Yeah, from last one. I'm gonna try to be better about that. Get that in my brain.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Really
so
appreciate
much.
that.
Thanks gonna have it for the nat 20. Hey, woo boy.
Okay. We will be back in about 15. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Peace out.
Thank you, tankies. Oh my god.
Our food's here.
Could there have been more descriptions of water?
Why limit your imagination? In the tabletop role-playing space, customization is everything, especially when it comes to your character. Whether you're a player, a painter, or a master of tales, your character is what matters most. Using high-quality, fully customizable miniatures, you can be built for battle with Eldritch Foundry.
Greetings, weary travelers, and welcome to Constructed Chaos, a channel dedicated to all things D&D, including live play streams and podcasts, 3D printing, painting, crafting, homebrew content, and guides for players and dungeon masters alike. Join our Discord for even more special benefits, announcements, and free downloadable content. And until next time, go out there and make some chaos.
to greet the rising sun. Your splendorous touch burns away the dark. With a soft golden hue, your world is made anew. We follow the path you've laid.
Welcome back. Thank you for rejoining us. Appreciate that. Actually, I'm gonna let me get out our trivia winner, who is Kleitos.
You're a winner.
Yay! Hey, freaking Kleitos.
not doing
of
it.
course.
You're a winner, bro.
Who supposedly, who I hear tale even waited. But put in a handicap in there, so the slugfest between Zach and Kleitos continues.
This full 40K army will be done soon.
Yeah, really.
At this rate.
Take up 40K, Kleitos. And the answer is Nenetl, is the mother's name. Mm-hmm. Nenetl. Okay, so I'm proud of myself. Actually, just didn't even have to look at anything. It was right there.
Try to keep that too.
And I didn't write. I did.
You just killed it.
Write that. Okay. Candle of Tales.
Candle of Tales.
The Candle of Tales.
Look at her. It's quick.
Yeah.
An old pro.
You didn't burn yourself, did you?
No. I just adjusted the wick.
Oh.
Yep. All right. So, Weisa, you've been reading this. What's your immediate reaction as you read it over the lintel, woven in slightly tan thread?
Bloop, 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 bloop.
I wonder who this person is speaking of and what their gift is.
Merrick, since you're the furthest out, you can still see them and hear them. But
I honestly, I am deeply like solid, like reaching for the stone center of my core where the Great Mother is, and I am. Merrick is really focused on internally right now. He is releasing his stress. He's essentially meditating in that sense. He is wondering why he grew up with these Dyrathi and these different mechanisms and politics, and why can't we have peace and happiness? And he knows the Shires is just that, and for the most part, and he's just trying to release this. It's like, I'm tired of these things.
you hear your eye kind of comes open because there's a noise that should not be here, and you're, like I said, you're the furthest out, so it hits you first, where you hear ha 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 ha, and then a strange language, which you're so internally focused it takes you a moment to place its Valkyrie. And then your eyes go wide as you take in the cavorting forms of children who are in the glade. Cavorting, dancing, twisting, playing.
And do they look like just regular? Are they're like?
Normally I would give you the answer immediately, but you're kind of a little disoriented right now.
First of all, is this another dream? Because I remember I've been having those lately.
You discreetly pinch yourself. And you're like, no,
like,
okay.
I'm back here, not back at your mentum.
No, that's a fair, absolutely fair question.
Seeing the wall being built again. Yeah, I will.
Rushing after each other. Okay, and your eyes focus, and there is definitely a dreamlike quality to the children, even though they seem to be at vigorous play with one another, hopping. One of them mimicking the flapping wings of a hummingbird as quickly as he can.
Can't say a dragon. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they don't flap quite that quickly.
No.
And go ahead.
And how far away am I from like?
They're in the glade, so from them you're almost 200 feet, about 180.
So we get the village, the glade.
So
and then
this
the forest.
This would be the center. Yeah.
So they're coming out of the forest.
No,
they're in the glade.
they're in the
around the village.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you never really went deep into the village, so you're kind of close to being amongst them.
And they are cheerful and happy, and
yeah. And they, one of them even looks over at you.
Can I just make sure they're not darklings and look at their tent and feel good idea.
I'll roll that for you. Ooh. As far as you can tell, they don't look like moisture stealing abominations that come in the night.
Nice.
And one of them,
never know.
Questas, inviting you to play with them, and then they Valkyrie, because he doesn't speak Valkyrie. And then they they continue to run on.
I will go towards them.
Okay.
Happily, cheerfully.
As you're moving toward this.
I'll do the hand stretcher wave and.
Okay.
I love games. Yeah.
One of the girls. She's really young. She's probably 5 or 6. She reaches up and she's showing you one of her dolls, and you see there's a Paija doll.
Aww.
She has in her hands that's been lovingly stitched.
Aww.
And she makes the doll wave back to you.
I go.
And
if I can lift her up, can I lift her up? That's a good question.
You try to reach for her. She doesn't seem afraid at all, and your hands pass through her.
What the?
She looks momentarily startled, like she's aware of that, and then Coyolli, and kind of her eyes go wide, and she starts really looking at you, and then tries to touch you, and her finger goes through your chest.
One sec. Here.
A couple of the kids look over at you now, but most of them are still playing.
I speak in I don't know. Garo?
It just kind of gave you blank stares, head tilt.
One sec. I go run off.
She nods.
To the
Okay.
village.
Okay, and as you're running, you see more and more of these children, no adults, coming up out of the mists. There's that light rain that I had described last time, which had abated momentarily, begins to fall again, maybe even a little bit harder. And as you reach your companions, you see Weisa intent on reading this lintel.
Weisa! Spirit children! Valkyrie! I can't. They're unable to be touched.
Oh, so they're not alive.
No, they seem alive, but
Okay.
my arms pass through them. They're playful children. No
Who's-
parents, no adults.
Who's the most focused on the pool right now?
I'm with Lucy, helping her kind of catch her breath
Okay.
and helping her out.
The two least observant people in the group.
Naturally.
Okay. So,
We got this.
So
And Capio.
he's currently a -5,
I
so
think I already know what's going on.
he's even worse.
Can Weisa just know because she knows?
If you know, go for it, baby.
Like the waters are starting, like the currents are starting to change and move because the children are here.
And something is, you feel the current. Yep, you're on it. You feel the currents beginning to shift. There's an upward drift, and then there's even a slight bubbling.
So I'm just gonna be like hanging out in the water and seeing the bubbling, and I'm gonna still put the scythe is at my side. I'm gonna start breaststroking my way towards Weisa.
Okay, it doesn't take you long. The one girl that you had the initial contact with, Merrick, she's slowly walking toward you. It's gonna take her a bit to get to you because you ran.
I'm also going to get out of
That is the one. I don't speak Valkyrie, but I was playing with her. Well, as much as I could.
Okay, I would go over to her.
Okay. So as you turn to do that, you see a figure on the far side of the pool pull herself out, and you immediately know that something is very odd because she's not wet.
Do I see anything? Is she a child?
She's the sole adult
A sole adult?
amongst all of these
Is
children.
there anything else I see about her?
Make a perception roll. That's one other detail your eyes might immediately go to.
She's naked.
Perception.
What
Jeez,
Titus is hoping.
9.
Okay. She looks Urilit. As she turns, she seems older. So not a crone, but probably in the mid of her life. And dark hair, plenty of gray in there, plenty of lines on the face. She certainly is more muscular than you, not bulky, but she has a wiry strength to her frame, maybe an inch or two taller than you. And she turns, and her eyes seem to be somewhat unfocused for a while.
Does it seem like she just woke up or something? Like, is she, like, disoriented?
She touches her mouth, and scanning, she looks at you. I'm going to have you make an Arcana check and see if some of your lore comes to mind.
Jesus. It's not my day on the dice. 4.
Okay. So you can't really, there's a piece of information that doesn't come to mind. You grope for something and it's not there. As she focuses on you, she touches her mouth and then points to the lintel and gestures along.
She points to me.
Yes, to you.
She wants you to speak.
To the I see. To the one I just
You were just reading.
Okay, so I'll speak what I just read out. For whose eyes did he send these things? How could I live and bear so great a gift?
And in Valkyrie, so only the people who can speak Valkyrie can understand her.
Just us.
Smart.
Blood of Coatl, there you are. I come to thee. And she walks across the water, not disturbing the surface. The bubbles have ceased.
And she's walking towards me.
Towards you. Some of the children began to drift toward this. The girl with the Paja doll, who by the time she gets to you seems a little bit older, a winter or two older.
They're aging as they come closer.
And there's a boy who's maybe 10 winters, who also comes out, although the rest of the children just continue to play hide and seek with each other now. One of them's climbing on a roof that doesn't exist anymore because this tree has bursted open.
This happen every day. They relive their life.
I don't know.
Greetings, priestess.
Says the woman. Greetings. What may I call you?
Coyolli. Coyolli. It becomes harder and harder to remember my name the longer I am here. Will your companions open their heart to me so that they may bear witness to this conversation?
I believe they can. And I will turn to everyone and just gather them, kind of herd them.
Do you follow Weisa?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Capio? Okay.
I've died 5 times in 24 hours anyway. I might as well.
What are we doing?
This is my friend Coyolli. And
And the predecessor.
she is requesting you to open your heart to her so you can bear witness to her. Can you do that?
I can do that.
I'll try.
I'm going to look at her for a moment to feel if there's any kind of hostile intent.
Okay. Go ahead.
Right. 10.
As far as you can tell, no.
All right.
She might be a very difficult person to read, though.
Right.
She carries herself with the serenity of a developed priestess, and they can be deep indeed.
You know, there's more than one god.
Yes.
You should probably trust her.
She fixes her gaze on each of you, her dark-eyed gaze on each of you for a time.
Aye.
And I'm shocked. Like, it's not like gaping, but like.
No, this is shocking to you.
There's clearly. I'm processing something about this that is difficult.
I'll put my hand on KBO's shoulder.
You cannot come to me with an open heart wearing armor, Death Tamer.
Can he hear that?
She's speaking to him, but he can't understand her.
But I can hear.
Yeah. You and Nelishly can both understand her because she's speaking Valkyrie.
She requests you to relieve your armor.
Looks a little surprised. And then gracefully, she does the thing that women in your culture do as they're about to settle in for conversation, where they rock and come down almost in a very graceful kind of keeping your center over your feet way. And then she's on both of her knees. The girl with the Paija doll comes to rest by her right. And the boy in a similar stance, the boy he's carrying a baby, and he sets the baby in her lap. And then he comes to her left, and Coyolli's holding this infant. It looks sleepy right now.
How far away is Coyolli from me at the moment?
Y'all are close now.
Close?
Yeah, because you pulled in, and Weisa herded all of you guys together.
I'm gonna, as much as I can, even in the water, if it's shallow, get on my knees.
Okay. She looks to you, my lady. You should not kneel to the likes of me.
I have but a question for you, if you may do me the honor.
You are the distant cousin of Coaxing, are you not?
Aye.
Champion of the Lord of the Dawn Star, who fell in battle to the Green Doom. But you are crafted by one of the hands of the gods, yes?
Aye.
It is good that my vision has not deteriorated so badly that I cannot still see that, even from this side of the Vale.
Tommy, what are you doing here in this village?
I wish I could see your eyes. They must be spectacular.
I'm looking at her.
I cannot see so well now. The veil, it thickens with the passing of the winters. I am not ignoring you, but let me see if I can find their hearts. And you feel her presence expand and go out. And both Nelishly and Weisa, will you make rolls? Make a roll for her. Die 20.
Ooh. 1.
Ooh. Okay. You see her fade some, and she says, "Forgive me. I do not think I do not have the strength in the moment."
Perhaps we should dance.
Remember, you can't. You could have said that, but you don't. Yeah, you don't understand her.
Right.
Can you? Is it too much to ask for you to play translator then?
Aye. Anything.
So humble, so different from Coaxing. Huh. Go ahead.
Can I feel her? Can I feel her strength? Because she connected to all of us. We all felt the connection. Mm-hmm. Can I feel like her strength waning in that moment?
You're not that dialed into this creature yet.
Okay.
But if you watch her carefully, you can try to get some sense of that.
Fair enough. Okay.
This is. I'll just tell you, Rennie. This is outside of your god's portfolio.
Understood.
So you do not really have an intuitive understanding of this, the way that Marcus often does in things that have to do with war and healing.
No problem.
So I am waiting. I think I am waiting for thee, and thine, that you would come and do what I could not. I have much to tell you in little time. She looks up at the sky. The first thing to know about Tek'patl Tek'patl, spawn of the Green Doom, a recent one. He lies. If he told you that he was giving you until the eve, it is only because he sees perfectly in the darkness, and you do not. He will swiftly destroy you when you are blind to him.
What time is it?
What is she
Still
saying?
early morning.
What is she saying?
This is being translated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
translating
Do
it.
you faithfully? Okay, so Nilishli's faithfully translating this. Okay, all right.
Okay, great. Because I'm like,
So she's pausing. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's pausing. Just for like flow at the table. I'm not going to pause every time, but she's
Absolutely.
pausing.
Okay, awesome.
Now Nilishli to translate that. That was my death poem. You read aloud.
It was.
Thank you.
Who do you speak of when you say, for whose eyes did he send these things?
She smiles for a while. Blood of Coatl. I am sorrowful to say your ancestress dragged us almost single-handedly from a golden age. She stole from the Green Doom and invoked his wrath, and then he descended upon what was our home and left nothing in his wake. My vision, my silly hope when I came here as a girl, was to give us a different narrative, a different story. And so I dedicated my life, and here she touches the necklace that's around her throat, to Tlaloc, god of the rains and waters, bringer of life. I had hoped that if we can no longer be with Coatl, that we at least could be with him. Does that answer thy question?
What was taken?
Do you translate that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, translate.
She considers that for a moment. No one knows, but for certain. But sometimes we speak of treasure, other times we speak of a scale. But the one I think she actually ran off with to ensure that he would visit his boundless destruction upon our civilization was an egg.
I'm sorry for what was taken from you.
Taken from the Green Dragon.
no, I'm saying about her people dying.
Oh.
Being taken from that, something being taken.
I came to this island seeking a means to start a new age, a different age. And again, forgive me, my lady, but an age not dominated by Tek'patl, the Dread Mother, but rather an age of Tlaloc. We are in the Dread Mother's era now. You know that.
I did not.
I know that for a certainty. I suspected it, but now I have the proof in front of my dead eyes. You.
No, she kind of like tenses up.
But she's not evil. She's not responsible for these things.
Death is not evil.
That's what I was going to say.
Death is as certain as life, one chasing the other. I grieved and lamented at my failure at protecting these children, protecting these villagers for so long, but I have finally made peace with that.
What did you need to protect them from?
Barolus. He came here as a still in his teenage years. Actually, slight retcon. He came here still in youth. And we knew each other for many winters. Back and forth, allies, enemies. But finally, the day came that his mind snapped. He would have no more. And he decided that we were the enemy, that these precious children, and she holds the infant closer to her, were the enemy. There was a slaughter, the likes of which I could not have imagined. I did everything I could. We did everything we could, and it wasn't enough. He and his men were too many and too strong. All of us were. It was worse for the women. It was the worst for the women. The last of them did not die for many moons, and did not die here, but in his camp.
By what means did they die, these women?
Brutally.
By the same means that women overcome by men throughout all the long, sad history of warfare have, my lady.
Literally, like, palms, like, clench up.
Can we bring the peace? Can we release them?
I will not ask pardon for my blood or my house, but we will make sure that you are put to rest.
I thought I smelled him on you, but I also know the wisdom that the sins of the ancestor are not necessarily the sins of the current. It is why I can speak with someone who, a younger, more ignorant version of myself, would have thought was an enemy. Your blood is distinctive. Any of us, many of us at least, will know who and what you are. Blood of Coatl. She changed the course of our history. Her machinations, her cunning, and most of all, her mercilessness changed everything. Amazing, amazing that one woman could do so much.
Why she turn against her people?
That's an unknown.
We don't know. But I have a few questions.
Please.
Is Tvalik who you worshipped here?
I did. Some did. Some others. Yes.
Anybody else prominent in this village?
In this village? No.
Elsewhere?
Is this lake the water that you would pray to for him?
Which question shall I answer?
Were there any others worshipped in these lands that you know of?
And you actually see some sort of ghostly tears well up in her eyes as she looks toward the tomb.
Mm-hmm.
The Storm Warden is harsh, but also fair. You know, I named him because he would not tell me his name. I named him Atlua. Atlua is the son of Tlaloc.
Atlua?
Atlua.
Atlua.
Yeah, Atlua.
Sun, like sun, S-U-N?
Yeah. And certainly he controls the rain and the waters if he wants.
It's true.
She studies you. I do not know if it is my story to tell the next part. Make a persuasion roll.
I'm gonna help her.
How?
I'm proficient in persuasion.
But you have to
help. Actually,
you have to have.
I'm pretty proficient.
You have to have a narrative.
Okay.
A narrative way of helping her. No. So, is there, before she tells me, because I don't know yet, is there anything that you want to do to help her as she's staring?
No.
No. Okay.
19.
Total.
Huzzah. I don't want to misspeak. Silly god.
Jason Tenderheart spent his entire life in service. She looks down. And she actually looks back at the tomb. I hope I do not speak out of turn, Atlua. If so, well, here we are. He served great lady Tiweiah, the Refulgent one, Handmaiden to the Supreme Phoenix, Mistress of the Long Peace. She is the scale, and in him she had an invincible sword. She is the goddess of truth and justice. And as you hear your patroness's name spoken aloud, each line of that is like an impact in your soul and your heart, and tears come to your eyes unbidden. Do you embrace that moment, or do you?
Yeah, I really settle into
Okay,
it.
all right, okay. So yeah,
Put a hand on Marcus's shoulder in comfort.
you can feel him shaking a little.
I give him a little massage.
Okay.
He doesn't register it.
Yeah, but like a throwback to the grinding snout. That's really sweet.
Thank you.
One of their moons, and she gestures to the patrician of the empire by blood. One of their moons is named after her. The moon of Tiweiah. Very few know that now, though. And her name has not been spoken for over 2 centuries. I think, if I have kept track of time on your side of the Vale correctly.
Now let it be spoken.
Now, let it be so.
Weisa,
Oh, you are our instrument. I see. I see. And she bows her head to you.
Thank you.
She was not my goddess, but sometimes I wish she had been. There's a little glint in her eye.
I understand.
that name will help us.
And we appreciate it more than you might know. But is there a way that we can put you and your people to rest fully in the embrace of your own goddess or god?
Here is another thing to know of Etlua. He will sometimes set for you impossible tasks. The point is not that you succeed or fail. The point is how you accept or not the inevitable. You understand, young priestess?
Aye.
Do you understand that this is a deep lesson of life?
Aye.
And sometimes, even when failure is inevitable, still we must strive. That's the point.
Teach them.
We must stop Coatl. That is why we need the knowledge. That is why we need whatever's there.
She reaches up and starts to undo her necklace. The word has been slow in your consciousness, but it comes up that this is a very particular kind of jewelry, Tatiana. It's called an Oxcan, A-X-K-A-N, for your people. And even on the other side of the veil, you feel a sympathetic ripple. This may still be next to those stones in the hut. I do not know if Tek'patl has found this or not yet. But if you can find it and be swift and leave, it has important codes inside of it that will reveal themselves to you when you sit in stillness. I can only give you this version of it from my side. And this ghost, this wraith, takes the necklace off of herself and then possibly reaches over and puts it around your neck, and it feels cold, and there's a slight dissonance as it goes against your skin, and then that stops.
She said hut. I'll look over to see what hut she's looking at.
Do we
next
notice if the necklace, like what material it's made out of?
It looks, the most prominent stone is Tlaloq's sacred gem, turquoise.
Is there any gold on it?
No.
Obsidian.
They're little flecks. There'd be little flecks of obsidian and jade, and they're to recognize the other two, but it's primarily turquoise.
Okay. Is this the best way to help you? Is there anything else we can do?
Yes, but not now.
Okay.
Give me your solemn oath. Let us share blood and ether. That whenever I see, I understand. Like calls to like, and I recognize that gleam in your eye. You are on a mission. You are on a quest. You are on a needful journey now, are you not?
It's true.
Then you do not have time to do what must be done here. But give me your blood, and I will give you my ether. And when this is over, you will come back. And you will you will honor us so that we can all move on. I could have left at any time, but I will not leave them.
Don't we have to do this before we go back to Dawn?
You need to know how.
I don't think so. I think we just need to understand what will set them free, not set them free.
We also need to understand one more thing. And that is Coyolli. Which god or goddess gives the gold?
She looks to you, and she says, "It is indeed the great lady Tiweiah, mistress of the long peace."
Aye. Thank you.
I do not know what the Storm Warden's what aspect of her is the most important. I don't know if it is that she is the handmaiden to the Phoenix. I don't know if it is the long peace that she brings. I don't know if it is her brightness, her refulgence. I don't know. As I said, true cleric, that was never my god.
You should tell her the esteem that the Storm Warden has for her.
Good idea.
What does he say?
He wanted me to remind you, to tell you that Storm Warden has great esteem for you.
I could tell you so much about him. He was my constant companion for many, many winters. So many times it became a game. We would actually smile and laugh as I would supplicate every moon, every Calends, go to him when Lucida was brightest, and tried to talk him into letting me in again. But he was right. That was not my place. This was my place. Please understand, blood of Coatl. I regret nothing, not even my death. It was a good life. I need these children to not be stuck and lost. And if I can no longer stay here with them, and it does become harder all the time, they will be consigned to a terrible in-between place. I don't want that for them.
I understand. I will share my blood with you, and we will return. We will make it right.
Each Loy can only open its soul once. They live longer than we can comprehend. They live long enough, the oldest of them, that those mountains crumbled. Do you understand?
I do.
Their crone of tales helped the Phoenix make Terra. That is how old she is. Her daughters on Lucida are nearly as ancient. Atlua is actually a small boy compared to them. But in all that time, they always, of course, open their soul to one another. Who would want to travel eternity without companionship? Not I. I never understood why he chose to open his soul to Jason, who could only possibly be with him for a few scant winters, and then alone forever.
That's what it is to love.
She doesn't have an answer. Whatever she would answer is just behind her eyes. And you see her fade more another step.
We will get this necklace. And what should I do with it?
Own it.
Okay.
Pray with it.
All right.
And allow Tlaloc to give you his divine wisdom. Will the Dread Mother be jealous? Have you made her promises? Do not break them.
I think.
He's always...
She reaches down and draws out of nothingness a knife made of mist. And she looks at your wrist.
Presents it.
You must cut yourself, child. I'm long past that.
Grabs the knife.
Cuts across, and then palm to palm. Swear to me that when your quest is over, you will return and bring these children to where they should be.
I swear to you.
I take your oath in sight of a child made by Tek'patli's hand, in sight of the Lord of the Dawn Star still high in the sky, and in sight of the realm of my patron, Tlaloc, god of rain and the waters, bringer of life. So mote it be. And you feel yourself, because you've given yourself a free will, this weight that doesn't descend on you but goes inside you. And you have a deep spiritual obligation now to see that through. You take a point of damage.
Low day for Weisa.
The cut itself may not have done a point, but there was something about that transaction
Sure.
that did.
Sure, that makes sense.
The girl again takes her pajadol, and for the first time speaks in all of this. And so all that Merrick sees is her say something and reach toward him with the doll.
He cries. I mean, a tear drops actually out of his eye, and he attempts to take the doll.
You see her little face screw up in concentration, intense concentration, and her hand form into a fist. And then she winks out, and you actually go from mist to feeling weight, Corey, in your hand.
He takes it.
And you have a tattered pajadol. It was nice in her hands. It's tattered now in yours.
He embraces it. We will return. The children must be released. He tucks it away safely.
My lady, if I may, I would like to give you a final service.
I receive humbly.
I am not Aski Teotl. I am not chosen, but I was wise in the ways of my people. Sit with me a moment. Let me see if I can bind thy wounds from the inside out.
She sits down.
And she's still leaking some sort of ghostly essence out of the cut in her palm. And you go palm to palm with her. Summa, summa, Dio, summa, 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 Dio, summa, summa, summa. And this vibration starts along your powerful form. And it takes a while, starts to percolate, and you start to hear the chant sounding in your ear, even when she's not speaking, almost like a row your boat, where you have different ones starting off at different times. Weisa, make a roll for her as she attempts to
16.
take hold of her energy.
Oh, your version of Granny Doucheshot.
Okay. Very similar, Corey. Yeah.
Love it.
That's how he's thinking about it right now.
That's sweet.
So you actually feel her begin to collect the threads of your life force, and tenderly, masterfully start to reweave them. It's not dramatic. It's not instantaneous the way that Marcus can knit flesh. But you can feel this webbing beginning inside, and you can start to feel yourself come back together.
Mm-hmm.
And now you can hardly feel her anymore at all, or like her hands anymore at all.
I let a sigh out, and she's like faint in front of me.
Yeah, she's faint. She's almost extinguished now.
I'm gonna put my hands on top of hers and squeeze and say, "Thank you, Great One."
And she bows to you. To you, it seems that she's maybe a little awestruck that you would speak to her this way.
Vale. May you never stop.
And you need time, but you can feel it. You can feel your innards reknitting now. That she's catalyzed some kind of process inside of you. Okay. So, you know Tek'patl lies. You now have...
It's time to get back.
I had a feeling you didn't like me.
But first, we must go to the hut.
Actually, before we do that, you have that piece of crystal that connects Jason to Hannah, right?
Aye.
I want to try something, and it may or may not work, but I kind of feel drawn to it.
I think the necklace first.
All right, let's go. Well, I'm going to tell you as we go. So what I want to do is I want to cast a bless spell on it and hope that it's connected to him enough that it can give him an advantage in whatever he's up to right now. That's what I'm hoping to do.
We're going to be connected to every other crystal.
It's his crystal. It always comes back to him.
Always goes back to Crystal Remembrance.
This specific one finds its way back to him.
And the memories of whatever come from that.
We're going to keep walking as we're talking.
Okay. I mean, you're there. So you're going to have to. Somebody's going to have to dive back in to swim into the hut.
Her scythe is still glowing.
The sickle. Sickle scythe. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, yeah. You still have some time.
What am I looking for?
Let me write you.
Necklace.
The necklace.
Why did it go down there?
That's where it's hers.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
she put it down there.
Ghostly
the
form, the
scratching.
physical form is inside the hut.
Yep.
So now we know what it looks like and probably kind of pings.
You got the breath, I got the eyes.
Okay, and it's inside the hut on the edge here.
Yeah, and
The
she's
saw.
inside the day spa, and she said it was near the scratching stones.
Okay.
Where?
Yeah, I'm gonna straight away just dive back into the
Okay.
water and swim to
You
the hut.
immediately, wasting no time.
Yeah.
You get in there, and you start checking what in between crevices, or
I'm gonna start checking in between the rocks, the scratching stones, crevices, and try to inch my way towards. You said it was right near the rocks that the thing scratches on, the dragon.
that's yeah.
That's where,
Yeah.
generally, that's
Yeah.
where she. Yeah, I'm gonna go look in between each.
If it's still here at all. because it's been a while.
How shallow is that water?
That water is probably only maybe 15 feet deep. The hut, like the bottom from the bottom.
I have no idea about this whole thing because they haven't explained about the air pockets or anything. So
I don't think you would.
I'm not going in there.
I don't think you would
Not
dive in there.
So,
No, I mean you have a good roll for it, Corey, but like, yeah.
I have no idea that
Yeah.
you can come back up in something.
so I'm gonna check in between the rocks if still finding nothing and feeling nothing there.
Make an investigation roll.
Go girly.
Oh, it's really bad.
Inspiration.
Weisa's coming.
Can I use inspiration?
You absolutely can.
Hey.
Okay.
Point you in spin.
Would you like to use a morale point with this?
On top of that,
You don't have to. If you feel correct.
Oh, that was so good.
Yeah, I do.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so roll the base
any
and
chance to
then
get
roll the
magic
die.
items in this world?
And it's a good dime.
6,
Okay.
Well, plus your investigation.
17.
So, sorry, roll a die 20,
Roll a 20.
and then you roll a die 8.
Roll a
Can I use 17? And then, okay, so do I add anything to the 6?
You have the 6.
Investigation.
Your investigation, which is +1, I think, for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
okay.
that's, yeah.
And then
7.
a die 8 on top of that.
Prefer to take the 17 though.
No, baby.
clear 10.
It's a lot better than whatever was before.
8.
Nice.
Yes.
That'll do.
You rolled an 8?
Yeah.
on that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, that's
Yeah.
good.
You were 15 too.
So total of 15, yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, couldn't forget that one.
That's what you needed. And that is also counting the fact that you have light, because otherwise you roll at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad you're also not exhausted. So you're digging around, and your hand still with like the tingle of her ghostly palm on yours. Your hand brushes against something that feels far too regular to be just these jagged scratching stones. And then you reach in, and the funny thing is, Tek'patl's own huge size was actually working against him from ever discovering this, because your relatively tiny hand can fit into these crevices much farther than his talons. So even if he was scratching around and investigating, you probably wouldn't find it. You pull it out, and you see a beautiful turquoise oxcon necklace, like heavy. So it's heavier on the bottom and then lighter on the top.
Oh, cool. I'm thinking of like the mummy.
And then interspersed, there are much smaller slivers of obsidian and jade to set it off. Yeah. And then the entire thing is framed in glossy flint. It's like a back.
Amazing.
Looks great on me. Sorry, Weisa.
Bye.
There's a tingle. Your constructed flesh kind of tingles when you touch it. A little bit, minor. Right, and I assume you haul butt and get out of there.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not lingering in the spa.
Yeah.
in case Biggie gets a little itch between the at the base of the wings. All right, you get out, you drag yourself out. You kind of avoid one of the floating logs, and she appears in not too long, not too much farther later. Climbs on out, and she's got the physical manifestation of the ethereal piece that's around your neck.
Great work.
Thank you. She looks at this. Since you're wearing that, what are you gonna do with this one?
I had the same thought, but I think I'm meant to wear it.
So diplomatic.
That's brilliant.
And she's like slowly gives her the necklace.
Leslie has an emotion she's never felt before.
Jealousy.
Yep.
Pretty thing.
Coveting.
Well, from your people too.
Yeah.
So it fits very nicely. It just slides right over and into and around the ethereal piece to it. And when you do that, you can almost hear the pop as the two connect with one another, as the energetic and the physical combine with each other. And you feel a stronger tingle through this thing. Like, you need to sit with this. This has some juju.
That makes sense. When she mentioned giving me her ether, am I experiencing that? Am I aware of that at this moment? Or is it something I need to sit with?
I mean, it went inside you.
But that felt like more of like the burden, like the oath.
The ether was the mechanism, though, for it. So it's going to fade like inside of you as your own, kind of like anything that was in a physical bloodstream. It's in your spiritual bloodstream, so it's going to cycle through, you know. But you are what you are, right? As far archetypally, your class. So you get a very good sense of who this woman was for a while. I mean, this is like beyond breaking bread. This is, blood transfusion with one another.
Blood sisters. Yeah.
And essentially, Tatiana, you're experiencing a parallel line to your line, because your line is Coatl's line, and specifically aligned with Tek'patl. Her line also had a matriarch, and it has, but it was Tluok's line. Is the bringer of life. So it's a really different feel.
Well, Weisa's always preferred Tluok, so I guess it's all meant to be.
She switches sides.
Nothing to do with her.
Whatever.
It's just even our first game, I had him.
No, you did.
as
You
my
did.
first.
You did. It's just that you come from a certain lineage, so you're dealing with, much like a real life, you get to deal with lineage things as well as choices that you make in this go round.
Go my own way.
May I suggest we get out of here?
But would you pull the necklace?
The boy, the 10-year-old boy that was with her, is off to the side now, but he is not cavorting with the kids. And they're all kind of starting to wisp out as well. They didn't just pop like she did. Like, they're starting to, as the sun gets high in the sky, they're starting to almost burn off like mist before the noontime sun. The boy, though, is still the most solid by far of them, and he's just been watching with this doleful gaze all of the group. And Marcus, make an insight roll. This is actually something you might catch.
Oh, yeah, 23. Yeah. 23.
Ooh. You're not entirely sure why, but this boy, for a moment, like, part of it is his build, part of it is the solemnity, part of it is the protectiveness that out of all the children he came to guard Coyolli from you. You suddenly feel a strong resemblance. You feel like there is a strong resemblance to your Livius, to your son. And when you get that, your character's not particularly prone to visions, but there's just a quick flash, a flicker in your mind's eye of what he should have been. And you see the golden light around him. Maybe but about 3 winters hence. And he was slaughtered too young. He never had a chance to touch that gift. It was snuffed. That light that could have been was snuffed out by Barolus and his men.
I'm gonna go towards him.
He doesn't flinch. He just keeps staring, looking at you.
I'm gonna kneel down in front of him. And I'm actually gonna cut my hand in front of him and put, just call up some light. And offer it to him.
He stares at you for long moments, then reaches back out. He seems to have more mastery of this than the girl did, because you can feel his hands, cold as they are. He gives you the faintest smile, and then gently closes your fingers back over your hand. He keeps hold of your hand. You can hear him almost whispering you can almost hear him whispering something. Of course, you can't follow it because you don't speak Velpiri.
Right.
And then instead of a warmth, there's a coolness that runs across because what did you say? What did you do to yourself?
I pulled up light.
Oh, it was just light.
Just
okay.
light.
Okay, I'm sorry, I misheard that. Okay, for some reason, I was
I thought you cut, yeah.
Did everybody else hear that too?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I think it meant, yeah.
Okay.
Say call up rather than cut in some light.
That's a Weisa thing.
I'll have to go back and watch that.
Sorry about that.
Blood packs today. We're getting.
You know what? I'm gonna use Corey's favorite phrase and split the difference. And, I'm gonna say that you actually nicked yourself on maybe like one of your a flint kit or something like that.
The armor is still not so used to wearing it all.
And when he closed your fingers, you feel a coolness instead of a heat. And then when he lets go of your hand, your palm is healed.
Huh.
Cool. Since you rolled a 23, make another. This one's kind of insight, kind of religion, but let me just see how the roll is.
Nat 20.
I thought
Really?
Yeah.
23.
Okay. That's interesting.
Timing.
Shoot timing.
You've heard his name spoken many times, Jason Tenderheart. And it's starting to become familiar enough that it doesn't really have the weight to it. Simultaneously, you have insight into this boy, whose name you know is Huitzin, Huitzin, Huitzin. You just intuit that.
Got it.
You have the same insight into Huitzin, into your son Livius, and into Jason Tenderheart. And I understand I'm drawing a strong line through there. That's a bold statement. The core of what they are is compassion.
That's sweet.
Even though Jason is routinely recounted as the mightiest chosen to have ever walked the earth. They need all of the other parts that your son has, that you've lived with and that you've nurtured. They need the courage. They need the stalwart nature of themselves. They need the ferocity when it's called for, all of that. But the through line, the thing that binds them all, and the reason that Tiweiah accepts them is compassion. You
Go ahead.
And then he looks at you. He gives you his own version of a bow. And then he turns and he walks into the water, almost like he's walking down steps.
Oh, that's cool.
And doesn't disturb it, and is gone.
Capio, did you have any part in the massacre of these people by my blood?
Before my time.
Do you understand what we must do then?
Perhaps. But perhaps that will not lead you to the place that you seek.
I want to seek peace for them. I think you do too.
It is better in her hands than ours.
We're helping her hand.
I'm sorry, I'll have to say this. What we need to be thinking about is justice for these people. And while that may be synonymous with killing them, this is about justice. And I don't think more bloodshed will bring them peace that...
I'm asking if he will help us bring peace.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for slaughter.
And we do need one further bloodshed, and that is Barolas.
Maybe two if the dragon is on that menu, but we need to...
I just wanted to make sure that you're with us.
And I'm looking up now at this point, too.
That's all.
Let me demonstrate my fidelity by imparting some wisdom that you seem to be lacking. There is no killing that that will bring justice in that place. They are dead already.
There's a lot of ways that my words can be misconstrued, but I feel like everyone has done it differently today. I'm just trying to bring them peace. I wanted to make sure that you were not part of making them not be able to rest.
And I meant that Barolis needs to die. Not that we'll bring them peace.
It's the only person.
Barolis is dead, Silver Lady.
Yeah.
Marcus, you were talking about a crystal, Jason.
Yeah, let's keep walking as we do this.
Well, he needs to die again.
I agree.
I kind of thought he was.
Then speak to the Warden of the Storm.
Plan to.
Weisa, will you do this me a favor?
I feel a bit protective because he gave it to me to keep it
Right.
the way it is. But if you really think it can help,
I don't know if it will help or not, but I don't think it will hurt either.
It's safe to touch it.
I'm not going to touch it.
it's definitely not
Yeah.
safe.
I'm going to use the link it has between it and Jason and attempt to bless him in whatever situation he's in right now.
Cassius, if anything you can say, at least we're interesting.
I don't believe it will harm.
What did you say?
I was saying, Cassius, if anything you could say, at least we're interesting.
You're interacting with something
doesn't respond
very
to.
old and powerful.
It's the ultimate straight man.
It could backfire on you.
That is
Good.
so.
I'm hoping it won't, but
It's a risk you're willing to take, and I would pull it out with the cloth. It's
Are we willing to lose a man of his?
I would bring it out and put it on the earth.
You do know, as you're thinking this through, your heart's in the right place. You do know that, because you experimented with it now, that particular miracle is fleeting. It's 1 minute. And unfortunately, Jason's trials, which have well and truly begun now, and in fact will probably end on that note, they're a marathon. And it's now, it's still not high sun yet, but it's probably made about, say you're about torch and a half shy with all of this swimming, investigation, etc. Yeah, ish.
I don't want to be eaten by a dragon.
all right, fine. We'll beat feedback to the Storm Warden and see if she can do something with it. She has far more power than I do.
Hey.
Hey, whatever.
It's been a long 24 hours.
You, torches.
I'm sorry, I caught myself the second you caught it too.
And as the fellowship turns, so the intention is to get back to the Warden of the Storm. Okay.
General vicinity, not.
You
through the
see,
dome.
sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
You're beginning to see smoke, the tendrils of smoke, wisping up from the camp.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wait, the camp or the shore?
The camp.
The
Camp.
Okay.
Light that fucking place on fire.
Yeah, I know.
Jason's
The smoke from the shore. That's what I was.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Tendrils of smoke.
Golly.
Golly.
Golly. Remembrance. It's about.
Oh, wait, they did drop that in front of you,
Surely
didn't
fucking did.
they? Okay. That's fair.
You read a lot.
That's
I'm
fair.
sure you already knew about it.
Well, faraway friends, I hope you have been mildly entertained, perhaps even intrigued. Y'all were. I was kind of working myself, but you were working me today, and I held it together, and I'm really proud of myself because there were about.
I'm still thinking
there were about
Titus is dead.
2 times I was ready to completely lose it. So no, there we go. I wanted to speak with clarity, and hopefully did.
And grace.
Absolutely.
Grace.
Wonderful.
You're doing great.
Hopefully
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Those,
Wonderful.
the whole topic of death is it's a thing. So thank you for continuing us on this journey. We will see what what the fellowship is going to do in the weeks to come. Certainly, I know some of we're all in different states of the
Exhaustion.
The five, well, that too, but the five, I was going to say the 5 states of the island. You know, anger, denial, grief, etc. You know, etc.
You've been walking with acceptance for a while.
I'm feeling that from Titus. So if you will, let us know who you think was the most valuable player this session.
That's gonna be a hard one.
There's a lot going on, and that can be by whatever rubric you like. So it can be whoever was you thought had the strongest play, whoever entertained you the most, however that hits you. All right. Other than that, as you go about your journey, your own personal journey, please be safe and stay curious. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Yeah. Golly.
Golly.